members of our community. Good evening, Cerritos residents and the members of our community. I would like to call to order the Monday, September 8, 2025, 7 o'clock p.m. City Council Successor Agency Special Meeting. The invocation will be given by Pastor Rory Corrigan of Church in Cerritos, and the pledge will be led by Girl Scout Troop 135. Please rise for the invocation and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pastor Corrigan.
Father, we come before you tonight grateful for the opportunity to serve our community. We ask for your wisdom and guidance in the decisions made here tonight. Grant us clarity of thought, fairness in judgment, and unity in purpose. May every discussion be marked with respect, integrity, and a genuine desire for common good. Bless our leaders, our citizens, and this city we call home. Thank you.
Good evening to all of you. We are from Girl Scout Troop 135 of Cerritos, and thank you for the opportunity to lead the Pledge of Allegiance this evening. All those in uniform, please salute. All those not in uniform, please place your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Pastor, stick around, okay? Girl Scout Troop 135, thank you for doing the Pledge of Allegiance. Can you guys please state your name and what grade you're in and where you're going to school?
Hi, my name is Chelsea Corbilia. I am in 10th grade and I go to Rosary Academy.
Hi, my name is Lorelei Lim. I'm in 9th grade and I go to Cerritos High School.
Great. Girl Scout Troop 135, Pastor Corrigan, will you please join us over here? We're going to take a photo with the City Council. Council colleagues, will you join me? Please stay there. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And one more. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Good to see you. Thank you. Today's special. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Madam City Clerk, will you please conduct a roll call?
Council and Agency Member Hong.
Here.
Council and Agency Member Polito.
Present.
Council and Agency Member Say.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem and Vice Chair Johnson.
Present.
Mayor and Chair Yokoyama.
Here. Okay. The next item is 5A, presentations. City Council meeting presentations. The following presentations will be made tonight by myself and my colleagues on the Cerritos City Council. California 175th anniversary of statehood. Sky Connors, can you please come up? I'll just have you right here. Thank you. Thanks for coming. The city of Cerritos is proud to recognize and celebrate the historic milestone of the 175th anniversary of California's statehood. On September 9, 1850, California became the 31st state admitted to the Union. And since then, it has grown to become not only the most populous state, but a place that defines diversity, resilience, and innovation. Today, California stands as a beacon, welcoming people from all walks of life, all corners of the globe, and all dreams and pursuits. Californians are proud to call home a state that is now the 4th largest economy in the world, and the leading producer of agriculture, and the #1 tourist destination in the United States. From the innovation hubs of Silicon Valley to the fertile fields of the Central Valley, from the waves of the Pacific to the peaks of the Sierra. California's beauty is matched only by its diversity and determination. The Cerritos City Council is honored to present Southern California Regional Coordinator, Ms. Sky Connors, from Governor Gavin Newsom's office, with a proclamation honoring the statehood of California on its 175th anniversary. Sky, I'm honored to present you with this proclamation celebrating and recognizing California's 175th anniversary. Glenn, can you come and take a photo?
You scoot this way a tiny bit. Thank you. All right. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Please stay there. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And one more. 1, 2, 3.
So Sky, would you like to please say a few words?
Thank you, Mayor. On behalf of Governor Newsom and the state of California, it's an honor to accept this proclamation from Mayor Yokoyama and the city of Cerritos as we celebrate our state's 175th anniversary. As the mayor mentioned, for 175 years, California has been defined by resilience, diversity, and innovation, and few places capture that story more than Cerritos. It's a community that values education, embraces cultural diversity, invests in infrastructure, and builds a strong local economy, while never losing sight of the families and the neighborhoods at its heart. Cerritos embodies the California dream, especially through its commitment to education, showing how investing in young people paves the way for future generations of Californians to thrive, anchored by institutions such as the Cerritos Center for the Performing Arts and the world-class Cerritos Library. So on behalf of the governor, I want to thank Mayor Yokoyama, Mayor Pro Tem Johnson, City Manager Robert Lopez, and the people of Cerritos for your leadership, your partnership, and your example. This proclamation is a reminder that the California dream is alive and well right here in Cerritos. Thank you.
Thank you, Sky. Please, thank you so much for coming to our city council meeting so we could present the proclamation to you for this momentous occasion. And please give thank you from the city council to Governor Gavin Newsom. Absolutely. Okay, council colleagues, let's take a group photo, please.
Right here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Please stay there. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And one more. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate this. Yes, nice to see you again. Nice to meet you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Nice to meet you. Absolutely. I love your jacket. Thank you.
Cerritos Challenge. Star Trek Day. The city of Cerritos is honored to celebrate Star Trek Day, which commemorates the broadcast premiere of the original Star Trek series on September 8, 1966. The longtime television series turned international sensation remains popular today in various forms and series. This includes the animated television series Star Trek Lower Decks, which ran from 2020 to 2024 for 5 seasons, and for which the city of Cerritos holds a unique and special distinction. The primary setting, the primary starship of the series takes place aboard the USS Cerritos. According to the show's creator, the USS Cerritos is among a select number of California-class starships that bear the name of cities in the Golden State of California. On August 10, I, Mayor Frank Aurelio Yokoyama, presented a proclamation to Don Lewis, the voice actor for Captain Carol Freeman of the USS Cerritos, which is featured in the series Star Trek Lower Decks. And I presented it to her on stage in front of the hundreds of attendees during the annual Star Trek convention in Las Vegas, Nevada. And I'm honored to call up here to celebrate Star Trek Day here in Cerritos, California. Some members of the fleet. So can you please come up? We have the fleet, a Star Trek costuming fan group, including from the fleet, we have Fleet Admiral and founder Philip Morgenthaler. And the fleet is a Star Trek costuming fan group. The fleet is a Star Trek costuming fan group that has connections to our local area, including Cerritos, including our Cerritos Library. And Philip, thank you for coming and representing the fleet. If I can give you the microphone, if you'd like to say a few words.
Sure. Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor. And on behalf of our Admiral Nathan Adams, our co-founder, and Captain Tana Leap, I wanted to say a few words, if I may. 59 years ago, our world saw a glimpse of what the Earth could be, a place where money, it was an antiquated concept, hunger was gone, and wealth gain was pursuit of the past. As humans, we had more time to focus on self-improvement and exploration. Therefore, people hated less and looked towards the future more. This inspired and continues to inspire fans for generations. To be better people, do more for others and society, and accept more than what we see. Our fan group, The Fleet, started right here in Cerritos, and we strive to hold those ideals learned from Star Trek close. By participating in charity functions, welcoming people regardless of income or ability, and giving those of all ages a chance to dream, we build a community that looks towards a better future. With these ideals in mind, as our club celebrated our 10-year anniversary at the Cerritos Public Library in 2024, we ran a fundraiser. At that fundraiser, we raised over $5,000 to help the Pancreatic Cancer Action Network, giving hope to families that, among other things, a cure might be found. We had the support of certain Star Trek actors in that also, that were able to come out and see the Cerritos Public Library. They were blown away by all of that. It is with thanks to Mayor Yokoyama and the Cerritos City Council on behalf of the over 2,000 members of the fleet. It is an honor to accept the proclamation to make today Star Trek Day.
Okay, so thank you, Fleet Admiral Philip. And like I told you when we were talking, I'm sad that somehow I didn't get the invitation to your 10-year anniversary at our Cerritos 10-year anniversary party at our Cerritos Library last year. But please add me to your invitation list.
Sure,
and the city council. Okay. So I'm honored to present this proclamation celebrating and recognizing Star Trek Day today on September 8, 2025, here in the city of Cerritos. Thank you for receiving this on behalf of all the Star Trek fans throughout the world. And let's take a group photo right here. Well, we'll stay up here for now.
Yeah.
Glenn.
Right here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. We stay there. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
City Council colleagues, will you please join us for a group photo?
It's our first city council meeting.
She's better on the Starship now. Here we go.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I know.
Here, maybe I'll step out. I'll step out.
1, 2, 3. Let's play there, please. All right. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And one more. 1, 2, 3.
They're excited.
Yes, and because the city of Cerritos is the namesake of the USS Cerritos, featured in Star Trek Lower Decks, we have some City of Cerritos gift bags with Cerritos swag in it for the three of you who joined us tonight from the fleet. So my council colleagues, Mayor Pro Tem Linda Johnson, Council Member Sophia Say, can you please give them their City of Cerritos swag? Thank you, you guys.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Bye, buddy. Thank you. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Beautiful dog.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Live long and prosper.
Peace and long life.
Cerritos strong. Pastor Shangao, in recognition of Pastor Shangao of the Evangelical Formosan Church of Cerritos for his dedicated leadership in uniting Chinese churches in the city of Cerritos and the Highway 91 region vicinity cities. Since April 1, 2017, Pastor Gao has built a healthy church community, fostering faith, unity, and harmony among believers while enhancing the positive image of local Chinese churches. Through his church's outreach and effort, he has served all ethnic groups and races in the community by visiting the sick in nursing homes and hospitals, supporting the disadvantaged, and encouraging generosity toward the needy, reflecting the Christian spirit of compassion. Over 8 years, his efforts have significantly advanced spiritual growth, gospel outreach, and community service. So tonight, the City of Cerritos and the Cerritos City Council is honored to recognize Pastor Sheng Gao for his exemplary dedication and contributions to the Cerritos community. Thank you, Pastor Sheng Gao. And I'm going to be giving you the mic, please, so if you could please share with us more about the fantastic things you're doing for our community. Let's take a photo.
Anything? Right here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Stay there. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, so Pastor Sheng Gao, if you'd like to say a few words, and also please let us know who came with you tonight.
Okay. Yeah, I have to say that I never expected one day I could stand over here to get the proclamation. Yeah, tonight I have my family with me and the church members over there. They're over there. Yeah. The first thing I want to say that I give thanks to my Lord, the one who I have served him for many years. And the second, I give thanks to our mayor and our council. I'm very honored to be a part of the city of Cerritos. This is a very great city. And I love the city. I love the people around us. I would like to serve this city through my role as a pastor and to build a great community for the church, to serve the church in the future. Yeah, I'm very honored to be here. Really, I want to be a great pastor in the future to serve us. Yeah, thank you. May God bless our great city, Cerritos. Thank you.
And in addition to the proclamation, which we will be providing to you, we also prepared for you a City of Cerritos gift bag of Cerritos swag. Thank you for being a friend of Cerritos. City Council colleagues, will you please come up and join us for the group photo?
You want your family to come over?
I just asked you if you want to do all of us first with you only, or do you want to do
it first with you.
Okay, that's okay.
So that way when they come in.
Okay, so we'll take one first with us.
Second.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Please stay there. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, and can we please have your friends and family come and join us? Everyone who would like to be in the group photo with Pastor Sheng Gao. Pastor Sheng Gao. I'm going to give him. All right. You see everybody. Land.
way a little bit, this way. Perfect. And then, okay, perfect. Right here, can you take to the left? Can you go to the left a little bit? Perfect. All right. Right here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3. Please stay there. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And one more. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Can we shake hands?
Of course. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
The next item is 5B. City Manager, do we have a report on this item?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. For this item, I'm going to defer to City Clerk Cindy Nava.
Thank you, Mr. Lopez. Good evening, Honorable Mayor and members of the City Council. The item before you is consideration of City Council nominations for a resident appointment for service on the city's advisory boards. There is currently one vacancy, which is on the Economic Development Commission, or EDC. The EDC will begin meetings tomorrow, Tuesday, September 9. It is now recommended the City Council open public comment on this item, and the remaining nomination is made of an individual from the eligible pool of applicants to serve a 2-year term for the open ED seat, subject to the City Charter anti-nepotism law and majority approval of the City Council. The nomination may also be deferred to a future meeting date, or the City Council may provide alternate direction. For appointment made this evening, I will administer the oath of office if the appointee is in attendance at the appropriate time. If the appointee is not in attendance this evening, the City Clerk's office will contact the individual to schedule administration of the oath of office, which must be completed prior to the individual's participation as a commissioner in tomorrow's or future EDC meetings. This concludes my report, and I'm available to answer any questions the City Council may have.
Thank you. Thank you for that report, City Clerk Cindy Nava. Thank you for the agenda report, Alicia Alvarez. Do we have any questions from the council? I will now open for public comment on this item. Do we have any public comment? Any speakers on this item? Seeing none, I will close the public comment period. Did my council colleagues want to make any nominations tonight? Okay. Okay, I have a nomination. I nominate to the Economic Development Commission, Brian Hughes. Let's vote. Second is not required, but if somebody would like to second, they're welcome to. Okay, we have a second from Councilmember Polito.
The motion passes 5-0.
Thank you. Thank you, council colleagues. The next item is 5C. City Manager, do we have a report on this item?
Thank you, Mayor. For this item, I will also defer to City Clerk Cindy Nava.
Thank you, Mr. Lopez. Honorable Mayor, members of the City Council, the item before you is the mayor's recommendations for appointments to internal ad hoc working groups, external boards, commissions, and committees, and for community member service during the 2025-26 mayoral term. It is recommended the mayor present any desired nominations, after which the City Council should receive public comment, then review and consider approving by majority action the mayor's nominations for service appointments, and direction to the city clerk to prepare and post an updated Fair Political Practices Commission agency report of public official appointments if needed, an appointments brochure to the city's website, and to disseminate contact information to the respective external bodies and appointees. This concludes my report, and I'm available to answer any questions the City Council may have, and this would be the appropriate time for the mayor to present his nominations.
Thank you. Thank you, Cindy, for that report. Thank you, Alicia Alvarez, for the agenda report. Do I have any questions from my council colleagues? I will now open for public comment on this item. Nobody's on the list, or nobody is on the list. Are there any speakers on this item? Seeing none, I will close the public comment period. Does the City Council have any questions or comments? Okay. I have a motion. Well, I have an appointment I want to make, and I am appointing to the City Council internal ad hoc working groups. I am creating a new group that should have been created a long time ago. I am creating the ad hoc working group for Bellflower Unified School District. And their purpose is to be a liaison on matters related to the Bellflower Unified School District. And I am appointing myself and Councilmember Mark Polito. And do we have to have a motion and second on that, City Attorney?
Second is not required.
Okay, so that's my appointment. Let's vote.
If I may, I believe a second is required, not by law, but as a part of our electronic voting system.
Yeah.
I second it. I second it too.
Did you hear a second?
I
City
second
Clerk?
it too.
I heard council members say.
Okay, then let's vote.
The motion passes 5-0.
Yes, because the city of Cerritos is blessed to have two fantastic public school districts. Our Cerritos families and students and residents attend the ABC Unified School District, and they attend the Bellflower Unified School District. So we should have an ad hoc working group. We should have an ad hoc working group for both school districts. Okay, item 6. Public comments. Thank you for your attendance at tonight's meeting. State law and our local rules do not support the use of profanity, hateful speech, or activity that disrupts the conduct of this city council meeting. If necessary, I will issue an initial warning and call for a recess to restore order. After that, the chamber may be cleared if disruption continues. The following comments pertain to all public comment periods on tonight's agenda. I will open public comments at the appropriate times on the agenda. Please be prepared to approach the podium and begin your comments at the time you are called. Public comments should be directed to the city council and made only from the podium during your turn. Please respect each speaker and refrain from any disruptive behavior or speech during their comment time. Public comments will be limited to 5 minutes per speaker. Agenda item 6, public comments should be limited to items on the consent calendar, closed session, and items not listed on the agenda, but that are within the subject matter jurisdiction of the legislative body. The city council received no written comments submitted by the deadline for any items listed on tonight's meeting agenda. I will now open for item 6, public comments. David Pileman.
David Pileman. I've remarked to several individuals that when I last appeared before the ABC School District Board, I spoke on 5 occasions. Of course, they have a public comment session prior to them going into closed session, another public comment opportunity near the beginning of the regular board meeting, and a third public comment section near the end of their meeting. Of course, when a specific agenda item comes up, a member of the public can speak. You probably never have had anyone speak before your closed session. Someone would have to know the specifics of an item obtusely listed in the agenda. For those of you, probably no one knows what Castro versus Cerritos deals with. For those of you who are really interested, it deals with tattoo parlors, those establishments that the mayor said were prohibited during the recent discussion on storage facilities. But maybe we could dispense with the status of Sherry Titus soon in closed session. Ms. Lee, I had a good relationship with Mark Steris. He was approachable, and I believed when he came out of closed session and said there was no reportable action, I was confident that that was true. Not once, when the council was meeting in the Performing Arts Center, did Bill Erkey come back into the general meeting room to make such an announcement. The mayor, at that time, regularly returned to make the announcement. I was in this room, when the first step toward your hiring was initiated. I would like to believe that I can have the same confidence in you that Mr. Yokoyama had on that night. However, I am left with uncertainty that the council can go into closed session for 45 minutes as they did on August 14 and 38 minutes on August 28, and there be no reportable action. So on the main topic here, when I speak during the public comment section, if I request for an item to be pulled from the consent calendar because staff has denied me the opportunity to clarify why $400 was spent on balloons during an award ceremony, then I want to talk about my thoughts on the bench dedication project. I'd already made my comments when this item came up on August 1st in the 24 in the Recreation Commission and August 22nd, 24 during the council meeting. Then I want to support the comments of Mrs. Johnson and Ms. Hung on the proposal for changing the meeting dates. Unfortunately, I would have needed to make my position clear before Mr. Yokoyama attempted to filibuster Mrs. Johnson into submission. Then I think my comments about resolving a disability senior issue would have been lost. I will again repeat what others in the community have said to me. They think it's a waste of time for me to appear here and speak if you're going to take little or no action on comments from the public. Having said this, I do appreciate Mr. Yokoyama's attempt to keep us somewhat apprised on the progress of the Coyote Creek Bridge project. I did advise the city manager before I spoke before the La Palma City Council on September 2 about this issue. And tonight, I'm notifying you that I'm speaking tomorrow night in front of the Lakewood City Council. I was apprised that there is a monthly meeting among the cities involved in this project. I certainly would like to be in the know about what they discuss in reference to the extension into Orange County and those effects. The reason I bring up the matter of public comments, as I said before the Recreation Commission Thursday night, far be it from me to comment on restricting a resident's right to speak. The past council and city clerk were emphatic that public comment should be restricted to specific times within the agenda. I have advocated for more comment periods. Maybe the clarification that the public can respond after council or commission member positions are stated would be an added benefit. It seems that the chair of the Recreation Commission has been permitted to do so. So, Mr. Yokoyama, maybe taking my comments in entirety in the proper context responds to your comments at the last meeting that some subjects apparently yield no public comment. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Powellman. I disagree with those people that say it's a waste of your time to come and speak at public comment at our Cerritos City Council meetings. I think it is very important for the community and our residents and our longtime residents to come and share at public comment, whether it's public comment or on specific agenda items. I'm thankful that residents like you come and share your thoughts and comments and opinions at public comment. I absolutely do not think it's a waste of your time, and I think my council colleagues, I don't want to speak for them, but I think they agree that it's very valuable to us council members to hear from the community and hear from residents at public comment. Thank you for coming. I think you said that in the discussion at the previous meeting about storage, self-storage facilities, I made a comment about tattoo parlors. What I did say was that there is one other business that is regulated in the city of Cerritos, like self-storage facilities. I could only think of one other business, and I said that one other business that is regulated in the city of Cerritos is vaping products. And I said that I'm proud that the city of Cerritos has an absolute prohibition against vaping products. Just wanted to say I did not talk about tattoo parlors.
You're right, and I stand corrected. I apologize.
Okay, thank you. So I do want this meeting, this city council meeting, to provide real-time information to our residents as much as possible in compliance with our noticing requirements in the Brown Act. So, for example, we try to share as much as we can about the Del Amo Bridge project, and you referred to the meeting where I shared that our Congress member at the time got us a $5 million federal funding, and now our new Congress member, Derek Tran, is asking for an additional $5 million in federal funding. So hopefully we will be hearing about a total of $10 million in federal funding that we will be getting from our Congress members who have looked out for our city of Cerritos. Similarly, I'm happy that the city council meeting can, within, again, the noticing requirements and the Brown Act requirements, and our city attorney is always sitting there watching us, making sure that we comply with the law. But then I want to share with our residents of Cerritos and our visitors to Cerritos that regarding the 605 freeway South Street off-ramp metro project, that project is substantially complete. There is still some cleanup work on the street for this week. They will be grinding tonight and finalizing striping tomorrow night. All the punch list items for street work should be buttoned up by the end of this week. They also, Metro also told us that Caltrans has a couple of closeout items on the landscaping and irrigation. They'll be working off the street, but within the landscaping area until the end of the month. But the most important thing I want to share with our Cerritos residents and visitors to Cerritos, that for the 605 freeway South Street off-ramp, all 4 lanes will be open by Wednesday morning after the striping work is done. Thank you, David Powellman, for speaking to public comment. Sam Desai, you're next. And if anybody else wants to speak at public comment, not about any agenda items, please sign up on the pad.
Mr. Yokoyama, I expected to comment on the $2.8 million on the bridge project tonight. Was that possible, or is that closed session material?
The Del Amo Bridge project? We'll have to update you at a future meeting. Thank you. I think I know what you're talking about, but I'm not ready to, I don't want to announce anything that's not completely factually accurate. Sam Desai?
Thank you, Mayor, council members, city staff, friends. My name is Sam Desai. I'm resident of Cerritos. Mayor, thank you for honoring Star Trek fans, my admirals and captain. I serve as a lieutenant on USS Enterprise, 7th Dock, and I'm communications director there. I deal with fleet communications. So when you showed interest and when you invited them, thank you for showing that honor. And I do take personal responsibility for not inviting you, sir. I wanted to. I was given the responsibility to do so. But as you know, it was our first 10th anniversary, and we do a lot of hugging there. It's a festive environment, and I just didn't want to make you feel uncomfortable. But absolutely, next time when we have festivities, I'll be sure to invite you personally, sir. I also saw that Governor Gavin Newsom sent us a proclamation. Thank you, Governor, if you are saying that, for sharing about our two jewels, library and CCPA. But Governor, I know you are far out there. Maybe you can send us a few more dollars. We need to get more hours for our library. We do need, more funding for CCPA, and our current budgets are not allowing that. So, Governor, if you are going to do proclamation, please send us a check. We would really appreciate that. Mayor, tomorrow is the last day when Councilwoman Linda and Council is going to be talking about water rates with the residents. Again, I have noticed that residents have been going to these meetings that you have invited, but it seems like most of them are your voters and donors. There are very few people who are actually asking you serious questions, and I do hope that you bring out those answers and not just count on people who have donated to you, who are in your side to come to those meetings, yeah? So that would be lovely if you can do that. And Mayor, I'm sorry, but when a local tabloid editor attacks Cerritos residents while turning this council into his lapdogs, it reveals just how shamelessly things are being done in our council. Instead of standing up for residents, you choose your friends, people who politically give you the most advantage, to give us advice on our economic development. You're right, sir, of course. But please understand that Cerritos does deserve better. And these are the three truths. Accountability. Council must answer to the people of Cerritos and not a biased tabloid. This is what we have seen. Transparency. City decisions must be made in open, not under political pressure from hidden agendas. And your political agenda is clear, and you have someone in your corner. That representation is just not working, because leadership should not chase just specific type of votes, right? We need to represent every Cerritos resident. And to my dear tabloid editor, if you dare to attack any other residents, I will stand against you as I've done in past. If you claim honor, then show it and behave and bow with respect when a resident of Cerritos walks by. That's what I deserve. That's what every Cerritos resident deserves from individuals who want to change. And just like in Star Trek, leadership means putting the crew, the people first. Cerritos need leaders who rise above these cheap theatrics, who are not afraid to, question your status quo. and those who can boldly go where true leadership demands. The residents of Cerritos deserve a council that answers to us, not to an editor's pen. And this is very serious. Economic development of Cerritos is in your hand, and the way you are gambling it is not the way to move forward. Thank you for listening.
City Clerk, are there any other speakers?
Mayor, there are no other speakers signed up.
Thank you. Seeing none, I will close the public comment period. Consent calendar. Do I have a motion?
Move to approve. Second.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the consent calendar from Mayor Pro Tem Johnson. We have a second from Councilmember Hong. Let's vote.
The motion passes 5-0.
There are no public hearings. Council colleagues, I ask for consensus to next hear item 9B. Okay, we have consensus. So we will now be hearing item 9B. City Manager, do we have a report on this item?
Yes, thank you. Good evening, Mayor, members of the City Council. Item 9B follows up on prior City Council direction to conduct an RFP related to building and safety services for the city. The presentation this evening will be given by Advanced Planning Manager Sabrina Chan, and following her presentation, she and Kristen Aguila and I would be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Lopez. Good evening, Honorable Mayor and members of the City Council. The item before you this evening relates to building and safety services and is in response to the past City Council direction to release an RFP to explore potential options for private consulting building and safety services. At this time, I would like to direct your attention to the screen for my presentation. The city's Department of Community Development is responsible for thoroughly reviewing all projects to ensure compliance with the municipal code and the city's high quality design standards, compliance with health and safety standards, and LA County building codes, and the elimination of any impacts to adjacent or surrounding properties. Development projects include review by the Planning Division, which is comprised of city staff, and in-house County of Los Angeles staff for plan check, if applicable. While smaller projects such as a residential air conditioner or re-roof permit don't require review by the county and undergo review by the city only, a majority of projects in Cerritos require both city and county review. The flowchart on the screen illustrates this process from project submittal to project completion for a standard project reviewed by both the city and the county. This may include a residential room addition project or a commercial tenant improvement project. Upon receipt of a project submittal by an applicant, planning reviews the project for conformance with the municipal code and to ensure that the project meets the city's design standards. The time frame for the city's initial review is approximately 3 to 4 weeks, with additional back and forth review time needed for corrections with applicants. Then, after approval by the city, a project is submitted into plan check for county review to ensure conformance with LA County building codes. The time frame for county plan check review is approximately 4 to 6 weeks. This begins the building and safety services portion of the project review process. Once plan check is complete, with no further corrections, a city permit is issued and construction can commence. Throughout construction, inspections are required to ensure code compliance and integrity of improvements. Inspections are conducted by contracted county staff. Once a project has passed all inspections, the permit is finalized and the project is deemed complete. As you can see, the development review process requires close coordination between city and county staff to ensure that development projects meet all applicable standards. As the flowchart indicated, A portion of the city's building and safety services are contracted through the county, and this partnership has been established since 1957. The city contracts with the county for 1 full-time in-person building official, 1 full-time in-person plan checker, and 3 full-time in-person inspectors. These county staff operate directly out of City Hall and are assigned and fully dedicated to Cerritos only. Through a long-standing partnership with the county staff act as an extension of city staff who choose to serve Cerritos due to their positive relationship with city staff, residents, businesses, and the development community. While county employees are tasked with enforcing state and county codes, county staff retain institutional knowledge of the city's codes and assist in enforcing conformance with the city's high standards of development. County services are contracted by way of a Renewable General Services Agreement, GSA, with the county, which allows the city to access miscellaneous specialty services. The Department of Community Development utilizes these county services specifically for building and safety. In addition, the Department of Public Works utilizes the county for various services, including street repair, catch basin cleaning, and pothole maintenance. Due to the county's size and access to resources, the county is able to provide these specialized services at competitive, not-for-profit prices, and the city benefits from access to these services without the need to invest significant funding to hire its own specialized personnel. The current agreement with the county is through June 30th, 2026. Over the past several years, the city has experienced and continues to experience high volumes of projects for development throughout the city. The table on the screen shows the volume of permits issued to allow the start of construction and finalized at project completion over the past 6 years. Based on the project volume, in fiscal year 24-25, the county provided approximately 6,100 hours of billable service to the city through building official, plan check, and building inspection services. The billable hours reflected on the screen are hours spent directly reviewing plans and inspecting project sites. The city is not billed for supportive tasks such as meeting with staff, communication with applicants, and project coordination. Regardless of the number of hours spent on plan review and inspections, county personnel remain on duty during normal operating business hours. The county's hourly rates for fiscal year 24-25 are listed on the screen for your reference. I want to note that the county also provides miscellaneous building and safety services, such as an online permitting platform to host Cerritos' express solar permit applications as mandated by the state, and various printed materials for daily operation at no additional cost to the city. On April 21st, the City Council directed staff to release an RFP for private consulting building and safety services. In response to City Council's direction, on June 25th, RFP number 1562-25 was released. A total of 5 proposals were received, and after a thorough review and interviews with each prospective consulting firm, 2 firms were identified with the proposals most closely resembling the existing services provided by the county. The firms listed in alphabetical order are TransTech Engineers and Wildan Engineering. The following slides will provide a comparison of the county's existing services to the proposals provided by TransTech and Wildan. First, in regards to scope of service, the county provides 5 staff members on duty Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. Both TransTech and Wildan have the capacity to provide the same in-person services. However, both private consulting firms have also proposed additional remote plan checkers for online submittals not specifically dedicated to Cerritos. The county's current plan check timeframe is approximately 20 to 30 business days for projects, including new homes, room additions, and tenant improvement projects. Both TransTech and Wildan have proposed slightly lower review timeframes, ranging between 3 to 15 business days, given that they will provide 1 in-house plan checker and additional remote plan checkers for online submittals as needed. The county currently bills the city at a flat hourly rate with annual CPI increases. These costs are directly paid for by project applicants through permit and plan check review fees. TransTech's cost proposal includes a component of flat hourly rates for in-person services, plus an additional portion of all plan check revenue the city receives for plan check services. Additionally, an annual CPI increase has been proposed. Wildan's cost proposal only includes flat hourly rates similar to that of the county. I will discuss these billing types further momentarily when we get into the total anticipated costs of each consultant. With the billing structures I just discussed, I'd like to break down the total anticipated cost of each of the three entities. First is the county. Based on the county's hourly rates in fiscal year 24-25, the total cost for building and safety services was approximately $980,000. The slide shows other expenditures for public works items. However, the total cost for building and safety is shown in blue. For these services, the city is only billed for the time spent reviewing and inspecting projects. There are additional hours spent on project coordination and meeting with city staff, as well as communication with applicants, which are not billed to the city. On this slide is a table illustrating the total revenue received through permit issuance and plan check fees paid for by applicants, and the total expenditures paid to the county through building and safety and public works expenditures. Based on the total revenue collected through county fees and total expenditures billed to the city by the county, while most of the county's revenue is directly passed through to the county, the city is able to net approximately $500,000 of annual revenue from these services. It should be noted that revenues and expenditures are based on volume and project type and are difficult to predict each year. Next is TransTech's cost proposal. Before doing so, I'd like to note that the information provided in this presentation, as well as the agenda report, is based on the proposal submitted by either TransTech or Wildan and utilizes fiscal year 24-25 data for appropriate comparison with county statistics. As mentioned earlier, TransTech's cost proposal includes two separate billings to the city. One, an hourly rate for in-person services, and two, a percentage of plan check fee revenue that the city collects. Based on the proposed hourly rates and the fixed percentage of plan check revenue that TransTech would bill the city, it is estimated that the total annual cost for TransTech to provide building and safety services would be approximately $2 million, with adjustments each year based on CPI. Next is Wildan's cost proposal using the same fiscal year 24-25 data. Wildan's cost proposal included only an hourly rate for in-person services similar to the county. Based on the proposed hourly rates, it is estimated that the total annual cost for Wildan to provide building and safety services would be approximately $1.3 million with no annual adjustment for CPI. On the screen for your reference is a summary table of the estimated cost of each of the three entities. Based on these cost estimates, and in using fiscal year 24-25 revenue received by applicants for permit and plan check fees totaling $1.6 million, this slide shows the total anticipated fiscal impact based on the provision of building and safety services for each entity. For both the county and Wildan, it is anticipated that permit and plan check revenue would cover the total cost of such services. With TransTech's proposal, the city would operate at a deficit of approximately $400,000. One other thing to note related to these services is that the city just commenced upgrading its permitting platform for permit issuance and is in the initial stages of the upgrade. This upgrade is a significant undertaking, and therefore a specialized technology consultant was retained in an effort to assist staff with minimizing interruptions to the public. I would like to note that if the City Council desires to award a contract to a consultant for building and safety services at the same time as the software upgrade, impacts to public service should be expected. With all of this information discussed this evening, at this time, staff is seeking the City Council's direction regarding the provision of building and safety services with two options. Option 1, continue to contract building and safety services to the County of Los Angeles. Or Option 2, direct staff to terminate building and safety services with the county, and commence negotiations with a private consultant with either, in alphabetical order, option 2A, Transtech Engineers, or option 2B, Wildan Engineering. If option 2 is selected to privatize these services, staff would commence termination negotiations with the county. I do want to note that if the city terminates county services, the city will not be able to go back to the county for these services again in the future. In addition, if option 2 is selected, this would include council's authorization for items 1 through 5 on page 12 of the agenda report under option 2, with one minor correction to item 4 noting fiscal year 25-26. This concludes my presentation. At this time, City Manager Robert A. Lopez, Director of Community Development Kristen Aguila, and myself are available to answer any questions that the council may have. Thank you.
Sabrina, thank you for giving the report on item 9B. Kristen and Sabrina, thank you for providing the City Council with this agenda report. Do we have any questions from the City Council? Councilmember Say, do you have any questions? All right, Councilmember Say.
Thank you. First of all, I want to say I have studied this agenda very hard. Can you hear me? Okay, sorry. I personally have quite an experience with both sides. County, which is my cousin, used to work here about 25, 30 years in here. So I pretty much know, because we sometimes party, get together, we talk about what he does. And other side, I also see my son work for the private consultant. So on both sides, I kind of have a personal experience in dealing with them and see what they're doing it when family get together. So it's really hard for me today to make the decision which one I should choose. On the other hand, during my those conference in the past couple months since March, and I also attending a lot of conference, I met the Transtech, and I know them very well, and I also follow up with the other city, and a lot of city recently joined with them, and they'll give me a thumb up on that. But again, I look at our budget here, so I do have to kind of consider what is the best interest for the city as a council, as elected official. So I have a question. I just heard Ms. Aguilar, you were talking about reversibility, right? So I think Steph just mentioned about if Cerritos leave LA County Building and Safety, so we cannot go back.
Thank you, Councilmember Say. That is correct.
Okay.
Where is that in the agenda report? Excuse me, Councilmember Say, I just wanted to circle it in the agenda report.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor. That is noted on page 11 in the paragraph right under option 2. Starting with the sentence, please note that.
Okay.
So the county has told us this in a definitive statement through conversations you and Kristen and the city manager have had with the county?
Thank you, Mayor Yokoyama. That is correct. The county has communicated that to the city. There were other scenarios where cities who were contracted with Los Angeles County for building and safety services privatized their services and later went back to the county to inquire if they could, again, retain the county services. And once a city cancels or terminates its contract with the county for building and safety services, there is no going back to the county.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, Councilmember Say, please continue.
Thank you. My second question is talk about stability, how stable the county that currently we use. Do we have a lot of frequently staff rotated in our city or not?
Thank you, Councilwoman Say. In terms of turnover for county staff at the city, any turnover that the city has had more or less in the 20 years that I have been in the Department of Community Development has been related to retirements. Not because they are reassigned to other cities, it is that they've worked for the county for 20, 30 years and have retired. I would like to note that when county staff is assigned to Cerritos, a few things. One, the county receives a lot of requests to come to Cerritos because of the council support, city manager support, and really because we have an outstanding development community. And so, in short, turnover is largely due to retirements, but very, very infrequent. We are very fortunate to have county staff who choose Cerritos, and once they're here, they don't want to leave.
Thank you. My next question, I'm not going to ask you a cost and fee structure because I can see the black, white, the numbers right there for me already. So the next thing is liability as a councilwoman. You know, I just want to know the county is known to be by the book because I can tell from my cousin. And has Cerritos historically faced lawsuit related to the building and safety decision under county services?
Thank you, Councilwoman Say. So generally speaking, you are correct. The county is by the book. So would any private entity. They'd be required to be by the book, essentially ensure that projects are in alignment and in conformance with the books in terms of building, electrical, mechanical code, et cetera. In the 20 years, again, that I've been in community development, I am not aware of any lawsuit as a result of county services. However, I will say the county, through our contract with the city, if there is any liability or a lawsuit with the county related to such services, that liability is solely borne by the County of Los Angeles. For plan check liability, excuse me.
Because I do study some of the private consultants do have a lot of lawsuit recently, especially a couple one bring up. So that's my concern about liability. My last question will be control and accountability. Now, how much control does Cerritos have over services standards and staffing level and turnaround times in the county?
How much control does the city have over county staff resources?
Yes.
Thank you. Generally speaking, as mentioned in the PowerPoint this evening, we have had and will continue to have the 5 personnel, building official, plan checker, and inspectors here serving in Cerritos. Same was proposed for the 2 consultants as well. If at any time the city wanted to request additional staff members, we can certainly work with the county to do so. The same would go for the consultants as well. But in terms of our control over who is assigned to Cerritos, we have control in the standard of customer service provided to the business community and residents. And so if there's ever a scenario where there's an issue with customer service, the city, through our contract with the county, can request reassignment of a county personnel if it's just not working out. We've never had to do so, but we do have the ability to do so if needed.
My last question, Mayor, it's about, what did I say now? I forgot. I remember when my son got hired in here, work as a consultant services that was under the county, because county also, when they short staff, they also have access to hire outside private consultant. Am I right?
The county does have a pool of private consultants that the county does pull from should the county need additional assistance. And it's my understanding, and if I misspeak here, my sincere apologies, it's my understanding through both interviews with TransTech and Wildan that the 2 private companies are in that county pool as well.
That would be I just want to make it public clear this. My son no longer works in Cerritos. Right now he works for Caltrans as a civil engineer. So I have no link in here at all. Just my past experience that I know what is the private, what is the county level practice in here. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilmember Hong, do you have any questions?
Yes. Thank you, staff and city manager, and for the wonderful report. I think it's very, very clear and very, very detailed for me. As a budget person, I always look at the budget first. I look at comparing the cost first, and of course, I hear a lot of highly recommendation about the outside service, how good they are with the efficiency and service as well. I think with this project, what I'm looking at is the service because it's the permit time frame, one of it. And also, that's very important, and also the cost. And what I cannot get over with the permit, can we look at that on the fiscal year of 24 to 25? You say the permits issued is 2,501, and permits finalized is 2,097. How many of them are major projects? Are they mostly for just external painting or patio permit or, small project? Or because I know Cerrito has very limited land use, so I don't know how many big projects we have, Could you answer me that? Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Hong. The information provided on page 4 of the agenda report, providing the total permits issued and total permits finalized over the last 6 fiscal years, is cumulative. It's any improvement that needs a permit. It can be as small as an electrical change out to as big a brand new industrial building, the building permits for those. Unfortunately, staff does not have this evening the breakdown of scale of projects, but I will say we have been very fortunate over the past couple years, and usually the projects or all the large projects come before the city council. We have been very fortunate that the development community and property owners continue to invest in their properties, both residential and commercial and industrial. But unfortunately, this evening, the breakdown of those numbers is not available.
Okay.
Other than 50% of projects are residential and the other 50 are commercial and industrial.
Thank you. Thank you for the report. And I think about the service, I participate at the planning commissioner meeting. There are people are complaining, the applicants, residential are complaining about the permit timing, and which I understand that. But I was thinking if we can reduce the layer for the approval of the process, we can definitely streamline the process. So that's my recommendation. And the other thing I look at it as the cost-wise. The only thing I couldn't get over with is that 60 for Transtech. They asked for the 63% of the plan check. That 63% sharing, and that's what I was concerned about, And another thing is we lose the on-site service, which is a lot of free meeting and consulting time that we are having right now with the county, and that's my concern. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Hong. Councilmember Polito, do you have any questions? Mayor Pro Tem Johnson, do you have any questions?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Can staff please share with us when we last closed our fiscal year, what the budget deficit was?
Good evening, Honorable Mayor, members of the City Council. Thank you for the question. At the end of the budget cycle process, the anticipated deficit was approximately $400,000 at this point.
Okay, thank you. So should council adopt option 2 with either vendor, we would then require to do city manager would then be required to do a budget amendment. Is that correct?
Yes, included in the recommendation, if option 2 is selected, one of those actions is the processing of a budget amendment for additional dollars to cover the difference.
So we would have more debt or more a deficit.
As budgeted, yes.
Okay. And there's not any foreseeable future where we would get an influx of revenue?
We are always looking at other revenues, but as currently budgeted, we don't have any current projected additional sources of revenue as of now.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Mayor, can I add one?
Councilmember Hong, you have more questions? Go ahead.
Yes, I forgot to mention one important thing. If you look at page 9, the estimated total cost for service comparison on table 7, total estimated cost of contract services. Can staff probably show that on the screen as well? Page 9, table 7, please. Well, anyway, if you couldn't do it, I want to announce it one more time. County of Los Angeles is going to cost us about $980,000. TransTech Engineers is going to cost us about $2 million. I'm not mentioning about the small numbers. And Weird Engineering is about $1.33 million. So the difference is quite a lot. For me, I really have a hard time thinking about how we can, like my council colleague was talking about, how we're gonna have the budget to cover this, because we're already facing the deficit, and which we have already approved. Thank you.
Any other questions, Councilmember Hong?
No, thank you, Mayor.
So, regarding questions, so according to the report, the agenda report you gave us, Sabrina, Advanced Planning Manager, thank you. What we've been dealing with in our city, and thank you for giving us the estimated time, is right now with the building and safety services provided by the county in plan check, the county's taking 4 to 6 weeks to do step 3 plan check, right? And correct?
Thank you, Honorable Mayor. Yes, that is correct.
And you know, that's what you presented to us on the PowerPoint. Let's put that up, number 3. PowerPoint, yeah, there. So that's the issue. That is an issue, otherwise a complaint, that the council hears from our applicants. Why is my project taking so long? And you have confirmed for us in this report here that the county's taking 4 to 6 weeks, correct?
That is correct.
And isn't it correct that, you know, that's an estimate, right? That's an estimate, right?
I can go ahead and answer that question. The standard review time for the county is 4 to 6 weeks, no greater than 6 weeks, sometimes less than 4 to 6 weeks. A councilwoman.
Why didn't you put a more accurate estimate if you're now elaborating that it's sometimes less than 4 weeks? Is the review time 4 to 6 weeks, or is it something other than what you put in your PowerPoint?
The average review time is 4 to 6 weeks.
Okay, so the average review time is 4 to 6 weeks.
Correct.
That's the average.
for a standard project as mentioned this evening.
And you just said that sometimes there are, you made an anecdotal comment that sometimes it could take less than 4 weeks.
That
correct?
is correct.
And you said 4 to 6 weeks is the average, right, Kristen?
That is correct.
So since that's the average, that means there's some projects where the plan check review took longer than 6 weeks, correct?
So generally speaking, on item number 3, as Sabrina mentioned in her PowerPoint, or in her presentation this evening, review timeframe of 4 to 6 weeks also includes additional time if there are back and forth with applicants. Say, for example, if a project does not pass plan check and the county provides corrections to applicants and that takes a couple weeks and they resubmit, that additional resubmittal is 2 weeks for the city.
Because we have to
for
wait.
the county.
Because we have to wait for the county, on average, an additional 2 weeks.
Upon submittal,
Or resubmittal.
upon resubmittal, the review timeframe is 2 weeks for each resubmittal. And I would also mention that under step 2, that back and forth with applicants extends to 3 to 4 weeks as well.
Yeah, and thank you. But again, you said that under plan check review by the county, the review time to 4 to 6 weeks is the average.
In between 4 to 6 weeks is the review timeframe. Councilwoman Sophia Say asked a question earlier about can we hold, what control do we have over county staff for plan check? And city staff through Ms. Chan and myself have very frequent accountability checks with the county to ensure that 6 weeks is the maximum. So they are not to exceed the 6-week timeframe. The county is to not exceed 6 weeks.
On the initial submittal.
Initial submittal, correct.
And then if a resubmittal comes in, then it could take 2 more weeks.
For each resubmittal, it can take up to 2 weeks.
Okay. So you're explaining it in a different way now. So I just want to ask again, is that review time of 4 to 6 weeks an absolute 4 to 6 weeks? Is it the median? Is it the average? What is it?
Maximum of 6 weeks and 4 to 6 weeks. So it's
So
between.
it's
I'll
going to
provide
take
a
between
correction.
4 to 6 weeks.
Correct. It's between 4 to 6 weeks.
So it's not an average.
It's 4 to 6 weeks for a review time.
Okay. For the submittal.
For initial submittal after it passes planning review.
So if the applicant has 1 resubmittal, that's an additional up to 2 weeks.
Correct, for county review timeframe.
Okay. So for number 2 and number 3, so we have our residents applying for a room addition, a residential application for a room addition. If they go through step 2 and 3 and they have 1 resubmittal, you just explained that it could take 9 to 12 weeks, correct?
Potentially, yes.
Okay, so it could take 3 months, potentially, for under the current relationship with the county. It could take 3 months for one of our residents to get past step 3 for a 1-room addition application.
That is correct.
Okay. So I want to talk about, I just can't get off the fact that I see that this agenda report used historical results for the county, but you used projections for the proposals we obtained from the RFP. And then it's not apples to apples. When I was looking at this, I kind of felt like it's not, there wasn't an attempt to either explain to the public and the council in this report that it wasn't expressly explained that the county's information, and especially in Exhibit 1, I'm sorry, not Exhibit 1, Table 3, no, I'm sorry, Table 7. Table 7, that's, the county is being compared to Transtech and Wildan, but the county is using historical numbers, past results, correct? We're using 24-25 information,
Actuals. Mhm.
actual historical information from the previous fiscal year for the county numbers, correct? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. And then for Wildan and Transtech, we're projecting, correct?
For Wildan and Transtech, we used the same data, fiscal year 24-25, with the cost proposals submitted by Transtech and Wildan. So
Okay, so you just said we used Wildan's and Transtech's proposal information and based it off the historical information from the county. Is that what you said?
no, we used it based on the hours required to be in office Monday through Friday. And for the one proponent who has the additional billing type of plan check.
A project management for Wildan, is that what you're talking about?
Okay, so for Transtech's billing type, which includes both hourly rates and a percentage of the revenue, it is difficult to project what plan check revenue will be during the current fiscal year. And so the most accurate closed out data is the total cost from 24-25, the total revenue from 24 and 25 that the city received in plan check fees. And so that revenue, which those books are closed from 24-25, was used using the 63% proposed by Transtech to calculate what that financial impact would be, or the fiscal impact, for a net total of the $2 million contract.
Okay, can you put up, thank you for that explanation. Can you put up number 7? So these are the 24-25 numbers that were used in the agenda report.
Correct.
To compare the county to Wildan and the Transtech, right?
These were the 24-25 billable hours of the county, which do not include the information or the items on the slide and discussed by Ms. Chan.
Okay, thank you. So this is the 24-25 numbers that resulted in the total cost for services that's in Table 7, correct? Yes or no?
That is correct.
Okay, thank you. So, let's just keep that up for now. So, one of the things that I've been hearing for my years on the city council is residents and their representatives complaining about why does the city of Cerritos take so long for my project, for my residential project? Isn't it correct that that is the complaint you get in building, in community development, where your team hears complaints about how long it takes, even though it's number 2 or number 3 plan checked by the county, your staff is the one that's hearing the complaints about how long it takes. Isn't that right?
Generally speaking, yes.
Thank you. Okay, so thank you for answering my questions. what bothers me is that we're using 24-25 numbers, fiscal year 24-25 numbers for the county to show what the work that the county did in 24-25, which resulted in a total cost for services that we're applying towards this agenda report in a comparison, and the total hours is 6,158. And then in table 4 and table 6, compared to those total hours of 6,158, in table 4, we're calculating TransTech's costs in the comparison in table 7. In table 4, we used total hours. In this agenda report, we used total hours of 11,040. Almost 5,000 more hours. Almost 5,000 more hours to calculate TransTech's annual costs. 11,040. And then for Wildan, we used their total hours to put their numbers in table 7, total hours of 11,232 hours. Okay, so I will now open for public comment on this item. I see one name for public comment on this item. If anybody wants to speak a public comment on this item, please put your name in the pad. Do we call it a pad? What do we call it, Alicia? We call it an iPad. So if you want to speak at public comment, please put your name in the iPad, and I will go to the public comment list. Melissa DeMercy. Did I pronounce your last name right?
You did.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right.
Everyone can hear me well? Good evening, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, and council members. My name is Melissa DeMercy, and I'm the principal at TransTech and also a civil engineer from Cal Poly. It's truly a pleasure to be here this evening. I'm joined by my colleagues, our principal building official, Dennis Tarango, civil engineer, Rafaela Diaz, and our public affairs director, Albert Chang. First, we just wanted to sincerely thank your wonderful city team, City Manager Robert Lopez, Community Development Director Kristen Aguila, and Advanced Planning Manager Sabrina Chan for your professionalism and openness throughout this process. It's really been a joy for us to learn about the city of Cerritos. I'd like to just take a moment to briefly share who we are, what drives us, and why we would be honored to partner with this community. At TransTech, we are a proud Southern California company founded in 1989 and rooted in public service. Today, our team has grown to more than 200 team members in this area who provide building and safety, city engineering, and construction management services to over 80 public agencies across Southern California. Many of these partnerships span decades. More recently, we've had the privilege of transitioning 5 cities successfully from LA County Building and Safety to an in-house model under TransTech. Earlier this year, we transitioned the city of Irwindale, as well as your neighboring city of Santa Fe Springs last year and the city of Carson in 2023. Before that, the cities of Commerce and Temple City, all of which were with the LA County Building and Safety Service Provider model. In each of these cases, the transition was smooth, at no added cost, and resulted in faster turnaround times, stronger customer service, and more cost-effective services for the city. As part of our submitted proposal for Cerritos, we've included an electronic plan check portal available 24/7 at no additional cost. Our quick turnaround times range from 3 days to 15 business days, and it's only made possible because of a combination of our on-site plan checker as well as dedicated off-site plan checkers that aren't charged any additional hourly rate. And those off-site reviews are completely covered through the flexible percentage-based role model, which is very common in our industry for all of the cities that we serve, building and safety. We also understand that Cerritos will soon be transitioning to the Tyler InterGov system. Our team has successfully guided multiple cities through this process. But beyond technical expertise, what really defines us at our core is community. And we believe in being more than just a service provider. We are partners who support civic events and local organizations and youth programs. During the presentations, we do understand that there was a lot of comments and discussion about cost and fee structure. And during that time, I kind of wrote something that I wanted to share to kind of bring some light into how our fee structure works. You know, our fee structure is flexible, and we promise that we would work closely with the city and your city team to provide an efficient service approach that is cost effective and uniquely tailored to the city of Cerritos' needs. You know, we regularly compete with similar firms and consultants in our industry, and we have great respect for all of them. And based on publicly available city council reports, master fee sheets, and proposals, our standard fees for our billing rates consistently fall within similar ranges of similar consultants that provide these services. In our proposal, we provided the city with our standard fee ranges for the level of staffing and hours requested. We included hourly rates across a full range of titles. We had a low end and we had a high end of ranges, depending on the qualifications, and we didn't really assign a concrete number to those ranges. In the staff report, I think the average was used, not necessarily the lower end of that hourly rate. And one of the things that we were reviewing was kind of the annual hours. Typically, when we calculate our full-time employees, we do it based on 2,080 hours. If a full-time employee, in our case for TransTech, is being provided to a city, we follow their schedule. So if assuming they had 11 holidays, we would never charge for those holidays. So subtracting that out, on average, a full-time, assuming 11 holidays, would equate to about 1,992 hours. And so if calculated based on that, it might show a better alignment in terms of what that in-person service might cost. I did want to mention again that our 3 to 15 days turnaround time is used under that cost sharing. But, at the end of the day, really what we want to say is thank you for this opportunity. It's truly a pleasure to get to know your city. And above all, no matter what, TransTech will always be a supporter of your city, and we're always here as a resource. Thank you. That concludes my speech.
Thank you, Melissa. Are there any other speakers? City Clerk, did we receive any written correspondence on this agenda item?
Thank you, Mayor. Honorable Mayor, members of the City Council, we did not receive any written correspondence by the deadline on this item.
Okay, if there are no additional public speakers. Okay, we have a speaker. I saw you working on the iPad. It didn't go through?
I thought it went through.
Someone,
It said it was submitted.
Alicia, did it work? That's okay. You're going to speak, sir, but okay, we'll look into that, right? Okay. Could you please state your name?
Yes, my name is Jeff Goldenberg, and I'm a member of resident of Cerritos, and I appreciate your time tonight.
I appreciate your time. Go ahead and speak.
I'm really shocked at the numbers that they say it takes to get a permit, because that is far from our experience. We had to get a permit for a residential rebuild, and our experience was it took us 6 months. And if anything had to be revised, from the minute it got sent to the architect till the time it got sent back, it was anywhere from 30 minutes to a maximum of the next day. At one point, our plans were on the structural engineer's desk, and he was on vacation for close to 6 weeks. And while he was out, there was nobody that approved any plans. They just sat there till he got back. The other big problem we seem to see with the planning department is we get no return phone calls, no return emails, and it is a very difficult situation when you're trying to do something to better your house. And as Cerritos gets older, we're gonna want residents to rebuild these homes. We want these houses to be looking good and on par for where we want them. It shouldn't be this difficult of a situation to get a permit passed, to get inspections done, to get things signed off once it's completed. And I'm just flabbergasted by those numbers. And I appreciate your time.
What was your name again?
Jeff Goldenberg?
Jeff Goldenberg, Cerritos resident?
Yes.
Thank you, Jeff.
Appreciate your time.
I will now close the public comment period. Does the city council have any additional questions or comments? Councilmember Say?
Thank you, Mayor. This question to you, Ms. Aguilar. Planning review, your review time 3 to 4 weeks. Do you have enough staff in your department?
Thank you, Councilwoman Say. Right now, or generally speaking, the current planning division, the staff that reviews under step 2, is comprised of 3 associate planners and 1 planning intern. Those are the primary over-the-counter and online submittal planning team, project review staff. So made up of 4 staff. Currently, and for a good amount of time, we have had 2 of those positions vacant. And so it would not be doing a service this evening if I didn't mention that, yeah, that is impacting our ability to provide expeditious timeframe review. When we have 2 staff members doing the primary plan check or plan review to ensure compliance with the municipal code and really to uphold the city's high quality design standards, and one of those staff member is at the counter from 8 to 5 and the other's in the back trying to do their review, and then the next day they switch. And so really of the 2 staff, 50% of the time are helping residents who come to the counter for over-the-counter permits. And so it's a long way of saying that, yes, I recognize that these timeframes for city plan review are lengthy. And to Mr. Goldenberg, who just spoke, I recognize that that is a long time. And it's not, it's not good to have up on the screen. But that, unfortunately, with the staff capacity that we have now, that is the reality of the time frame to turn around projects. That coupled with the high volume of projects coming in. Now, I want to just say one more thing about the time frame that's on the screen. That is not for somebody who wants to come in and get a re-roof permit or an air conditioner permit or a kitchen remodel. These are larger projects and the time frame that require greater detail to the architectural standards that make Cerritos what it is today. So in short, we are short-staffed, and that is impacting our ability to respond to the public emails or phone calls because we're serving the patrons that are at the public counter, and it is impacting the turnaround time for project review.
It's really hard for me to make decision today, county or no county. I decided no county, and then they will come back. On the other hand, I think ourselves as a city, we need to study, say, what can we improve? So you're short staff. Have we ever thought about hiring more staff? Or I know that's another spending too. What is your plan?
So we do currently have in the Department of Community Development's City Council approved budget, all 4 positions budgeted, and with the city manager and the director of admin services and the great HR team will be doing the recruitment. The planning intern position is currently posted, so it is recruiting with interviews here shortly, and then the great HR team will be working on the recruitment of the associate planner shortly thereafter. So we do hope that this time frame is a temporary issue that unfortunately has been for a few months, but we do
Yeah,
hope to.
this is what I
fix
heard
that.
from some constructors. They told me it's starting from your department
Yep.
as short and then turn around to the county. It's going to delay. And I think there's always lesson learned and correction to be done. And then before make this critical decision on that, because that's like Council woman Ms. Hung mentioned about the cost so much, and we are in red right now. I am concerned that, and so I would like to have study really the staff show the improvement. If it doesn't, then I'd like to bring you back to the table, discuss again, because it doesn't make sense to have the resident wait for 6 months to get the house to fix it. That's not right. Thank you, Mayor.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Councilmember Say, for asking about the timeframes that, the challenges that our community development department has because of staffing. And looking at Exhibit 1, I just want to point out again that, the city project review process PowerPoint that we put up there, we said that the county's review time is 4 to 6 weeks. And Community Development Director Kristen and I talked about that too much, but the point is, she was, she confirmed that that's the county time frame, 4 to 6 weeks. And in Exhibit 1, for whatever reason, we went to business days. Okay, so we use, we're in Exhibit 1, we're saying we're not using weeks, we're using business days. So 4 to 6 weeks equals 20 to 30 business days, and that's what it shows up. So what it was supposed to take for the residential project was 20 to 30 what it was supposed to take for this residential project was 20 to 30 business days, or 4 to 6 weeks. And the comment we got from our Cerritos resident who dealt with City Hall, it took him 6 months. So that's why I was asking Ms. Aguila, is this an average? Is this an average? Is this an average? And even though she said no more than 6 weeks, we heard from a resident, his project took 6 months under the status quo. Meanwhile, it will take the county for city project review process number 3, plan check review, 20 to 30 business days, 4 to 6 weeks. It will take Wildan, instead of 20 to 30 business days, 4 to 6 weeks, it will take Wildan 10 business days, 2 weeks. Half the time or a third of the time. And it will take Transtech 3 business days to 10 business days. Half of a week to 2 weeks. That's a big difference that our residents deserve. It definitely shouldn't take them 6 months to get a residential project done, let alone 4 to 6 weeks when we have an option to provide to our residents that can go from that 4 to 6 weeks that the county takes, that they claim to take, we can get it done in half a week, 3 business days with Transtech. So, Councilmember Say, do you have any more questions or comments?
No.
Okay. Councilmember Hong, do you have any questions or comments?
No, thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Polito, do you have any questions or comments?
I don't have any questions. I just want to say thank you to the staff for your thorough presentation, but I just had some comments that I definitely concur with the comments made by the resident, and I've heard so many comments over many years from residents as well as those in the commercial industrial community who have also had frustration in the process. So I believe that we need to do something, especially if we're trying to make the necessary improvements in our community. So I'm eager to see how we could make these improvements by entertaining some type of change. But no further questions at this time, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Polito. Mayor Pro Tem Johnson, do you have any questions or comments?
I have comments, Mr. Mayor. So thank you, Kristen, Sabrina, for the staff report, and thank you to TransTech Engineers and Wildan Engineering in participating in our RFP process for building and safety services. This item is before us because this council wanted options on how to better our services that we provide to our applicants. So my comments are going to be more focused on our project review process. Cerritos is an aging community, and many of the original homes are reaching 50 years old. I'm pleased to see that so many residents are investing in their homes by either upgrading or doing a complete remodel. We want residents to stay and continue living in Cerritos. Therefore, we need to make the project process for home upgrades clear and without frustration. Aside from the complaints I receive from residents about our trees and streets, the second most complaint I receive is the project review process, which includes plan check review, permit issuance, inspections, and final permit for not just residents wanting to do a room addition, but for commercial improvements as well. In fact, the speaker that spoke here tonight, I met, approached me at a high school football game and shared with me his frustration with the permit. So thank you for coming again, Mr. Goldenberg. I appreciate that. So how can we attract community economic development and bring in revenues to the city if our project review process is deficient? This issue is not coming from our excellent employees that we have in that department. It is coming from us. We're the policymakers. We as a council are failing them by not addressing and prioritizing their staffing needs. On May 2nd, through council consensus direction, a report was to be provided to the City Council on community development / economic development staffing needs. Then on August 4th, 2025, I received an update that various positions have been filled. While I'm pleased to hear that we have onboarded more staff, there are still some vacancies that need to be filled, such as the associate planner. So I'm kind of concerned that we're kind of slow on that process, but as I've heard tonight, we're working on it. But working on it is not good enough for me, and I'm sure it's not good enough for this council. My request for consensus back then was for a report back on staffing needs on community development. What I'm hoping to receive is a report that identifies if more positions are needed and its fiscal impact, and including a timeline when we could be fully staffed. So I'm going to ask again regarding the May 2022-2025 consensus request that I made, that we receive a report back on the staffing needs in community development, such as where are the deficiencies? Is it in plan check? Is it in building and safety? I ask that this please be prioritized. We need to know exactly where improvement is needed and if new positions need to be added. And how can we make this process for every applicant to walk away on a scale of 1 to 5, that they walked away giving us a 5. Just this morning, I was down here in City Hall and I observed there are many folks waiting in the lobby to be helped. They weren't in the water department, they were in community development. Folks are frustrated. they don't even want to upgrade their homes because they know, they've heard that the experience is just so frustrating. So again, it's not our employees, whether it's county or city, it is the process. Both the RFPs from Transtech and Wildan come with a significant cost to this city. And as you already heard from our Administrative Services Director, we closed out our budget with a deficit. And to approve option 2, we would even close it out with a bigger deficit, which will require a budget amendment. Until we identify and fully implement staffing needs through an outside agency, I will be supporting option 1 to stay with the current. I won't call it a status quo because I expect some changes after I made these requests, and that we continue contracting building and safety services to the County of Los Angeles. That is my comments. Thank you.
Thank you for those comments, Mayor Pro Tem. So, I've been dealing with the residents general dissatisfaction with the city project review process and timeframes for years now as a council member. That's a very common report I get from residents, very common complaint that why are things taking so long? And I get phone calls about it, I get emails about it, I get text messages about it. So that is that is a repeat request for help, repeat request for assistance that I get from our residents and our businesses and their representatives that they're having an unsatisfactory interaction with the city because they're trying to get their residential project done or their commercial project done to add value to our city, and it's taking too long. And one thing I was thinking about is with the staffing challenges that community development is facing and LA County Building and Safety is facing with their review time of 4 to 6 weeks, and then the city's review time of 3 to 4 weeks. And like we said, if we have one resubmittal, and I'm not even talking about 2 or 3 or 4 resubmittals, because I know residents who've complained to me how many resubmittals they've had to have, but with Kristen telling us 1 resubmittal is another 2 weeks. If we have a residential 1-room addition project, 1-room addition with 1 resubmittal, it could take 9 to 12 weeks. It can take, according to these estimates, 3 months to get through the review process just through county plan check. That doesn't also take into account the time for the city's permit issuance and then the county's inspections and then the city finaling the permit. That's additional time after that. And then we have stories of residents, and I've heard these stories before. We have stories of residents where they say it took them 6 months to deal with the city and the county through the community development counters and the city project review process. And we heard it here. We heard the comment where the resident shared it took him 6 months. And that's why I feel that, the status quo is not working. It hasn't been working. The previous city councils have never looked at this opportunity that many other cities have analyzed this, and they made the informed, considered, deliberate decision to stop using the county. And we hear about this. I as a council member of Cerritos, hear about this at conferences with my colleagues from other cities who share their success story from moving away from the county for this work. And they have happy residents, happy businesses, and City Hall, the council is happy, and the City Hall is happy. So I'm thankful to the resident for sharing his story, his household story, his family story. I wish we heard more stories here in this agenda item, because all I could say is I've heard many stories like his of it taking so long to get their project through the city project review process that involves the county of Los Angeles. I need to emphasize that we're talking about the county's services in the city project review process. So I'm also thankful that one of the businesses, one of the vendors attended the meeting. They attended and spoke at public comment. Thank you, TransTech, for showing up to stand in front of us regarding your response to our RFP. So I have some questions. Can you guys answer these questions, please? Can you tell us again? Can you give us a list of cities and agencies that you are working for, that they went away from the county of Los Angeles and they hired TransTech, and they are working for you are working for them?
Yes, with me again, Melissa Demirci with TransTech, and our principal building official that would be proposed to your city. So currently, I'm going to kind of go in chronicle order of most recent. We transitioned Irwindale in January of this year. The previous year, in July 2024, we completed the transition of Santa Fe Springs. And then in July 2023, we completed the transition of the city of Carson. All these agencies had only been with the county model and hadn't entertained any other service model process. Prior to that, a little bit further back, we transitioned the city of Commerce in 2019. And then the city of Temple City maybe a year or two before that.
Actually, I think it was 2014.
14. Yeah. I don't have the exact years in front of me, but those are the 5 cities that were with LA County, and we're still providing the services to those cities: building official, plan review, some of them permit technicians. Each city is a little bit different in terms of their needs.
Okay, Santa Fe Springs is just down the street, and you are helping them?
Correct.
And are you helping Hawaiian Gardens?
We are doing building and safety in Hawaiian Gardens as well.
We started assisting Hawaiian Gardens when another service provider was there previous to us.
Yeah.
Okay. What about Rosemead?
Rosemead as well. The cities I listed were just LA County service. Cities that had LA County as their building and safety service provider. We also, as Kristen had stated, we also are a consultant that provides those services to LA County as well, that we're part of their building and safety department. In addition to those 5 cities, we cover over 20 cities in Southern California that we provide building and safety services to, from Seal Beach, Temple City, Rosemead, Azusa, West
Ontario.
Covina, Ontario. I don't have the full list in front of me. It is in our proposal, though.
Okay, and what do you think about this? In the agenda report, it's showing that if we go away from the LA County contracted services, that it's going to cost the city of Cerritos more money.
You know, I want to just make, we're here to work for the city, and whatever, budget restraints that the city has, we want to come up with a fee structure that makes sense for your city, where the city is collecting revenue and the revenues collected are covering the cost of services and have additional revenue flow. And in every city that we provide building and safety services to, ultimately we work with the city to really have a service model that works for the city. Given the opportunity, we would absolutely rework those numbers and find an efficient service approach that is going to be very cost effective and favorable to the city, so it makes sense for the city to go in that direction.
Kristen, did we do any reference checks with the cities that Wildan and TransTech listed in their RFPs? Did we do any reference checks?
Thank you, Mayor Yokoyama. Prior to releasing the RFP, community development staff did contact cities really in the Gateway COG region to ensure that the RFP encompassed the entire scope of service that we would want here for the city, and to hear from other cities, not only for the two consultants here this evening, but also for other consultants that bid as well. We contacted other cities to hear what they learned through their RFP process. So that outreach to other cities was done prior to releasing the RFP to obtain lessons learned and gained and et cetera, to ensure that our RFP was solid per se in soliciting proposals from the most qualified consultants.
You said the two consultants that are here this evening, is someone from Wildan here?
Yes, that's correct. We have representatives from Wildan,
Okay.
TransTech,
Okay.
and Wildan and TransTech.
Okay. Thanks for coming. Okay. I didn't know. So my specific question, again, because I'm not sure, is did the city check with, Wildan and TransTech listed the cities they're doing work with. Did the city call those cities and ask them how things are going? And if we did, how come it's not in the agenda report?
Staff contacted those cities prior to releasing the RFP and received feedback, again, not only on the two that are before you today, but just in general of the consultants that are out there. And that research by city staff included pre-release of RFP reference checks on both TransTech and Wildan, again, as well as others that submitted proposals in response to the RFP. So all that to say, we had spoken to the references for both Wildan and TransTech prior to releasing RFP, and so didn't need to do additional reference checks once the proposals were submitted with the cities that they work in, because we spoke to them before.
So there was 5 responses
Correct.
to the RFP, and you are this tonight. Two of the consultants are being presented to the city council in comparison to the county.
Correct. The two provided this evening in the agenda report were most comparable to the county.
Okay, so why didn't the city council get a copy of their response?
Of whose response? Of
Will Dance and Transtex.
So we don't typically provide the proposals submitted attached to the agenda reports for proposals submitted as part of the RFP process.
And I am hearing that answer. Why didn't the city council get copies of Will Dan's and Transtex response?
Because we don't typically do so.
Okay. Even though we're being asked to vote on, consider and make a decision tonight on Will Dan or Transtech or the county.
Yes, sir. The information provided in the agenda report includes the information directly from their proposals.
Are you getting a percentage of plan check fees from these cities that you've listed that you're working for?
Combination, it's different in every city. Dennis is more familiar with the fee structures.
Our fee structure varies based on the city's fee schedule. Sometimes it's a percentage of the plan check fees. Sometimes it's an hourly. It really depends, again, the model that the city requests or the fee schedule, but we have done both.
So are there some cities you're working for that you get 0% of the plan check fees?
Yes.
Will you amend your proposal to get 0% of plan check fees?
You know, I do want to say that if we are going to meet the timelines of the 3 to 15 days, one plan checker is not would not be able to meet those timelines for a 3-day turnaround time. And so as part of our proposal, we had indicated off-site plan checkers. And typically in a lot of our cities, those off-site plan checkers could be 20, 30, 40 people to be able to meet the demands that are coming in. And so the way we capture that cost isn't charging those at an hourly rate. It's just a fixed percentage base. And that way you know what that cost is. Whereas an hourly rate of calculating what those hours would be off-site, we can do that. We have cities where we do that. And if that's something that the city would like, absolutely yes.
Yes.
You're talking about the remote plan checkers for online submittals?
Correct.
Yes.
And it's because those remote plan checkers for online submittals, you don't charge us that at an hourly rate?
Those are
on your proposal?
correct. Those are not charged separately. So the cost sharing, that percentage base, which is flexible, we have different models for the city depending on the volume, covers any and all offsite staffing. That is not happening physically as a staff member full-time in City Hall.
So the percentage of plan check fees is to cover the remote plan checkers for online submittals?
Correct.
So an alternative to a percentage of plan check fees is an hourly rate for the remote plan checkers?
Correct.
Okay, and thank you, Jeff Stewart. He hasn't spoken at all, so we're going to give him a chance to speak.
Absolutely.
Thank you. You didn't fill out the iPad, but I'm not certain if it's working though. I'm not certain.
I didn't do it, and actually, after a long career in local government, this is the first time I've been on this side of the dais. Frankly, it's a little intimidating, but and I've learned, as being in Mr. Lopez's seat for many, many years in different cities, that's what said least is best, and I try to exercise that. So let me just say
I just want to introduce Jeff Stewart, is a longtime city manager, City of Bellflower.
Yeah, I was there 12 years. I retired just over a year and a half ago. So I did that. So I just want to clarify one thing. The proposal that Wildan submitted, Mr. Mayor, members of the council, respectfully, the proposal that we submitted includes the rates of the off-site plan checkers. We don't take a percentage of fees in any city we work in. We don't propose to take a percentage of fees here, and the proposal you have is there. I think I'm only troubled with, and frankly, I think a lot of TransTech, and I think a lot of their proposal. The only thing I'm troubled by is if their number is going to go up, if they don't take the fees, we're saying that our fees are what we stated in the proposal. And if we're going to respin this thing and rebid it, let's rebid it. But, I mean, our proposal stands. We've had success in transferring cities away from the county to Wildan. Ms. Brucaleri here is a longtime building official, now works for our company. She just finished the city of Rolling Hills Estates in LA County and doing that, and she's transferred several different cities from different contractors to their current contractors, which is Wildan, and where she's working now. So I have no objection to anything that's going on here. In fact, I appreciate the discussion. I just wanted to clarify that our proposal stands with no amendments, no fees taken for the building fees.
Thank you for that clarity, Mr. Jeff Stewart of Wildan. What is your title?
I am the business development principal for Wildan Engineering.
Thank you, Mr. Stewart.
Right.
Anything else?
No, not unless you have any questions.
Do any of my colleagues have a question for Mr. Stewart? Okay. Thank you, Mr. Stewart.
Anytime.
Who's here with you?
Jamie Brucaleri. She is.
Yes, my name's Jamie Brucaleri, and I'm the proposed project manager for this project.
Thank
And I was the one who worked on the proposal. All of our fees are just hourly based. So again, we are willing to work with the council, with the city staff in order to do whatever is possible. If we need to make any alternatives, we are more than willing to do so. And we would love to work with you guys.
Well, you have a question now.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. And I'm going to ask the same question that the mayor asked TransTech. How many cities have you contracted with that moved from LA County to Wildan?
The only thing I would say is, let me just answer that real question. We have to research that. I
Yeah.
know Jamie just finished one,
Okay.
and she's been with the firm slightly less time than I have. So I don't know historically. I'd have to go back and research that.
How
I
long
do
has
know she
been? How long has Wildan been around?
Oh, let's say we started in 1964, and I will say that Bill Stuckey was one of the founders of the company, and he opened his business in a trailer in a cow pasture in Cerritos in 1964. So Wildan's been around for a long time and been attached to Cerritos for a long time. As I said earlier, this business is important to us. We'd like a chance to do it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for attending the meeting.
My pleasure.
I
Council colleagues,
do have questions for
Mayor,
TransTech.
Mayor Pro Tem Linda, please ask your questions.
Thank you. Thanks for coming and also answering our questions. So you were saying, with the fee structure, you can work with the city, do whatever. It seems like you can do some magic to reduce the costs. However, when preparing the RFP, did you guys consider our budget or look at our budget, that we were in a deficit?
We responded to the RFP in terms of the staffing levels that the city wanted, in-house staff, 5 individuals, and we provided our standard fee rates. That's pretty industry-wide standard fee schedule. With that, I guess maybe we're under the impression that would be some dialogue of what that fee structure would look like, because in all of the cities that we do work in, it is a conversation of what works, what doesn't work. It's not, building and safety is unique in terms of some models are percentage-based, some are hourly-based, depending on the volume. If there's a really high volume, those cities prefer to be just percentage, not hourly. And so it's custom to the city and working together on a solution that's oriented to you. We're open to adjust and work with the city on a model that the city wants, and that's kind of where we're at.
Yeah, I was just wondering that when you prepared the RFP, if you had tried to, like with the 63%, right? Because that just sticks out, that you would come in a little bit more competitively, with other vendors. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. We've had some a good robust discussion. So I'd like to see if Councilmember Say has any additional questions or comments. Okay, Councilmember Hong, any additional questions or comments?
No, thank you, Mayor.
Okay, Councilmember Polito. Mayor Pro Tem Johnson, thank you for your comments. Do you have any additional questions or comments? Okay. So another thing I was thinking about looking at Exhibit 1, First of all, I like how Transtech and Wildan are coming to us, letting this council know about the added value for our residents and our businesses of having remote plan checkers. Sabrina, does the county have remote plan checkers?
Currently, only one in-person plan checker is assigned to Cerritos.
Thank you. So, yes or no, does the county have remote plan checkers working for Cerritos?
Not at this time. No.
No. Okay. So it seems like we have a staffing constraint. We have a staffing constraint. We have time constraints with these 9, potentially, in the example I gave, potentially 9 to 12 weeks for a residential one-room project to get through just step 3 of the city project review process. And I'm wondering, Kristen, if the review process took a lesser amount of time, instead of the county taking 4 to 6 weeks, if Transtech or Wildan took 2 weeks or less, are we potentially looking at more projects getting through the system over time? Therefore, we would increase the number of total permits finaled in a calendar year because we're getting them through the system, not in months, but in weeks. Will we have more permits finaled with Transtech or Wildan getting the job done faster?
Thank you, Mayor Yokoyama. So generally speaking, the time frame for plan check does not have any bearing on the finalization of permits and the time and the quantity of finalizing a permit. So the finalization of permit is when construction is complete. In terms of permit issuance, all projects inevitably that require a permit, assuming that a permit is applied for, are issued a permit when they get compliance with county codes and city codes. And so, it's difficult to say if that would increase our volume because in staff's mind, all projects that warrant a permit are coming through, and the time frame doesn't change the quantity of permits issued or quantity of permits finaled.
Okay, so there's a saying, time is money.
Correct.
But you're telling the council that the county taking 4 to 6 weeks for step 3 of the city project review process, and Wildan or Transtech taking less than 2 weeks, that's not going to, you're saying that's not going to result in more finaled permits in our city in a fiscal year?
I think that will result in the faster issuance of permits versus the quantity of permits.
So you are in your position as the director of community development, you are estimating that the quantity of permits every calendar year, every fiscal year is going to stay the same regardless of who we use.
The time frame for permit review will be faster, not the quantity.
So you're saying the quantity of finaled permits will stay the same regardless if we use the county, Transtech, or Wildan?
That is my opinion.
Okay. I'll let Mayor Pro Tem Linda Johnson ask a question.
Yeah, Robert, I just wanted to go back to this consensus request that I asked for the staff report. When's the soonest that could come before council?
I'll have to consult with our team, but one thing I will add, and I heard clearly the renewed interest in having that information. One thing I'd also add is that to address some of the concerns that have been mentioned related to time for permit issuance, the City Council has budgeted, it is in the currently fiscal year adopted budget, upgrade to our permit system. This was mentioned also in the presentation and in the staff report. That is already underway. Our team, our IT team and our community development team had a kickoff a few weeks ago, and that's currently underway. It is a one-year process, so we imagine in about a year, we will have a new online permit portal that will help to speed some of the response that has been discussed. Specific to staffing, I can get back to the council soon with an estimated timeline. I'm not prepared to have that this evening.
Yeah, I understand. I just want to make sure that we are given all the tools, the resources, the information needed. I'd hate to break away from the county, especially knowing that we cannot come back or go back to them. I want us to be able to make informed decision up here.
And for Mayor Pro Tem Johnson's request for a consensus, sorry, are you referencing the previous consensus we agreed to, or are you asking for an updated request for consensus?
It was regards to a previous consensus that we agreed to, and I was just giving more clarity as to what I was requesting in that staff report. I did request a staff report back in May, and I just wanted to make sure that we get that staff report.
So given that the council has already given consensus for Mayor Pro Tem's request for consensus regarding staffing of community development
Correct.
and economic development.
Yes, it's community
Do you have a,
and economic development.
yes, so Robert, you and community development understand that the council has given consensus to Mayor Pro Tem Johnson, and I join in with her to please complete this consensus item at the earliest opportunity.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, anything else? Any other questions or comments? Councilmember, Mayor Pro Tem Johnson? Okay, so, yeah, so I think we've had a robust conversation, and I've heard from my council colleagues. Thank you for adding to the discussion and explaining what's important to the city and important to the city council. And Wildan and Transtech heard everything. And what I think also is, I've expressed it before, that it's not apples to apples. And when we base the county's number, when we base the county's estimated total cost for services by just taking their 24-25 numbers, which was directly based on 6,158 total hours. And then we compared them to Transtech and saying Transtech costs more, but we use 11,040 total hours. And then we compare them to Wildan, and we say Wildan costs more than the county, but then we use 11,232 hours compared to the county's 6,158 hours, 5,000 hours less than Transtech and Wildan. We need to have those, without the understanding that we're not comparing apples to apples, and we are using Transtech, we're calculating Transtech's and Wildan's estimated total costs for services by approximately adding 5,000 more hours to calculate their estimated total cost for services. I would like to give Wildan and Transtech an opportunity to give a final and best offer based on a final and best proposal, based on everything that was discussed here tonight. So my motion is for the city to, I'm inviting for the city to invite only Transtech and Wildan to submit a final and best proposal and bring this back at the first meeting in October, unless you think that that is not enough time, City Manager.
I'm looking at Ms. Aguilar to see if they think that would be sufficient time for our respondents.
I think we can target October. I would like to say that we did give both consultants the opportunity to submit a best and final. And so both consultants submitted their original proposals in the RFP, and over the last, following the second interviews, where in those second interviews, we asked specifically about their fee structures. We asked very specific questions.
Kristen, I hear you. Transtech and Wildan, would you guys like an opportunity to give another final and best proposal? Or do you want this council to not offer you an opportunity for a final and best proposal? Okay, so Transtech and Wildan would like an opportunity to submit a final and best proposal based on everything that they've heard here at this meeting. So my motion.
Can I say something, Mayor?
Yes, Councilmember Say.
Yeah. When you say apple to apple, compare apple to apple, I absolutely agree with you. But however, then the local control who's doing what, and we also see our short staff there. So we do need our staff to get fully staffed before we can let it go to LA County. That's how I'm looking at. Once we let LA County go, then we don't have any more. They will not come back. And why can't we hold it back and bring it back to table to discuss? Let the staff, do you have people ready or not yet? The staff, the shortage staff.
The intern and associate planner have not been, we don't have people ready.
See, so what we're talking about in this agenda item is step 3 and step 5 of the city project review process, which is the county. And we're not talking about the city review process, step 2 and step 4 and step 6, which is the staffing challenges that community development has. We're talking about the work, the contracted work with LA County, which is the 5 listed positions.
If you are given an opportunity to resubmit the proposal, then what about other people who also submitted and who will not be expected by our city? Would that be some issues there?
So you want to give a chance to all five applicants? Is that what you're saying?
Actually, a good question.
Councilmember Say?
That's my question.
So are you saying you want to give an opportunity to all 5 applicants who responded to the request for proposal?
I need to ask our lawyer regarding these questions.
There's no requirement. This is a request for proposals for professional services agreement. A RFP already went out, and 2 finalists were selected through the interview process. And the council direction here is to obtain further information and a better proposal than what was already received by the 2 finalists. And part of that process does not require you to rebid it or for you to get proposals from the previous proposers because you've already gone through that process.
City Attorney, we could.
You could.
Okay.
You don't have to.
Councilmembers Say, I'm open to that. So my question to you is, would you like to allow all 5 consultants who responded to the RFP, would you like to give all 5 of them the chance to submit a final and best proposal?
I just want to make sure it's a fair for all.
So,
Yes, please.
Okay, so my motion,
Oh, I'm sorry. I just want to comment on that. So I'm not saying it can't be done, but we've not done this where we're giving another chance for final and best offer. I mean, this is a job application. If people apply for a job, you give your best and final at the job interview. You don't go through all this and then say, hey, you know what? Can you give a better offer? I think they were already given a better an opportunity to give their final and best.
okay,
I don't know how much lower it can be. I just know that we closed out our budget at 400,000 deficit, and this will require a budget amendment. So if you have a motion, I actually have a substitute motion.
okay.
My substitute motion is that
I didn't make
you
my
haven't?
motion yet.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't make my motion yet, so go ahead.
No, go ahead, make your motion.
Okay. So my motion is to give the respondent, the consultants who responded to the request for proposal an opportunity to propose a final and best proposal. And the City Hall and the city brings back this agenda item at the first meeting in October. And it includes all 5 consultants who submitted a response are invited, not just the 2 that are here today that were selected by the city to be presented to us today. Instead, it's all 5. That's my motion.
Oh, I have a substitute motion.
Can I make comments about your?
Yes, please.
Yes.
I should have let you make a comment before I made my motion.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can I still make it?
Yes, you can.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. I guess what I'm trying to say, I trust our staff and our city manager. I think they went through the interview for all the outside contractor. It's just like you're interviewing your staff. You have to your final, candidates. And I think they already spent all the time do their homework. So I'm happy with this last 2, candidates, I'm the contractor, so that's my opinion. I think we should, if we gonna let them have a chance, I still like to hear this 2, contractors, see how they can provide instead of going back all the way to all the applicants, because I believe they already done that. It's just trying to save their time, especially now that they're under the stuff,
Okay, so thank you for your comment. I changed my motion. I make a.
Don't you have a vote first?
That's a friendly amendment you're making to my motion. Yeah. I accept your friendly amendment I accept your friendly amendment to my motion. And my motion is to give the 2 consultants who took the time to attend this meeting and heard the robust discussion and conversation from this council about what's important to this city council and to the resident who spoke. Give only those 2 that were selected by the city to be presented to the city council tonight, and they both attended and both spoke at public comment. Only give those 2 the opportunity to give a final and best offer, a final and best proposal. That's my motion. I accept your friendly amendment. Mark Polito, Councilmember Polito, agreed to the friendly amendment on his second. And then now, Mayor Pro Tem Johnson wanted to say something?
I had a substitute motion. Substitute motion is to go with option 1, to continue contract building and safety services through the County of Los Angeles by way of the existing city-county GSA using the existing hourly rates and services provided.
Can I ask a question? One more. So we need the second for that? Yes. I'm second.
Okay. Let's vote. This is to stay with the county. This is to stay with the county. If you want to stay with the county, it's a yes. If you want something other than that, it's a no.
Thank you.
The motion passes on a vote of 3-2.
Okay, let's move on to item 9A. The next item is 9A, City Manager. Do we have a report on this item?
Yes, thank you, Mayor, members of the City Council. Item 9A is a consideration of a potential amendment to city policy as it relates to use of city facilities and is in connection with potential funding opportunities that the city could partake in. The overview of this presentation will be given by Director of Community and Cultural Services, Annie Hilton, and following her presentation, she and I would be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Lopez. Good evening, Honorable Mayor and members of the City Council. The City of Cerritos has received more than $1.9 million in Proposition A and Measure A grant funds for a variety of park improvements. Measure A funds are managed by the Los Angeles County Regional Parks and Open Space District. The county has notified the city that it has identified a potential compliance issue with the city's facility reservation policy as it pertains to provisions contained in the grant agreements between the county and the city. The county has indicated that the city's facility reservation policies provide preferential treatment for residents and thus discriminate against non-residents. The county is requiring the city to ensure equal access for residents and non-residents at Measure A grant-funded sites, specifically the Cerritos Park East Community Center and Liberty Park 2 building. The county has stated the city must implement an updated fee schedule and facility reservation policy that ensure non-discriminatory access. The deadline for implementing the updates is October 15th, 2025. If the city achieves full compliance by the deadline, the city's good standing status for Measure A will be maintained. If not, the city will be designated not in good standing. The consequences include loss of access to the city's available funding, which includes nearly $1.5 million in Measure A accumulated allocation, more than $355,000 in Measure A maintenance and servicing, and $11,385 in Proposition A maintenance and servicing funds. The city's capital improvement program includes the Heritage Park Play Island renovation in the amount of $1 million. Implementation of this project is contingent upon the approval of Measure A funding by the county. If the city is not in compliance with the county agreement, the city will not be allowed to apply for a grant for the Heritage Park project and will lose access to Measure A funding for this improvement and for future projects. This would result in the postponement of the Heritage Park Play Island renovation until a future time when funds become available. Complying with the county's policy would require the following. Non-residents would no longer be charged 50% more than residents for activities, classes, events, and programs offered at Cerritos Park East and Liberty Park 2. Residents would no longer receive priority registration for activities offered at Cerritos Park East and Liberty Park 2. The Liberty Park tot lot would not be allowed to charge a different rate for residents and non-residents. Residents and A groups would no longer receive priority reservations for Cerritos Park East meeting rooms, and residents would no longer have the exclusive right to reserve picnic shelters and athletic fields at Cerritos Park East. In addition, residents and non-residents would be allowed to make reservations at the same time. It is anticipated that due to the limited availability of high-demand programs and an increased number of people registering at the same time, there would likely be a reduction in the number of Cerritos residents able to participate in the activities at Cerritos Park East and Liberty Park 2. Cerritos residents would also potentially have greater difficulty in reserving Cerritos Park East meeting rooms on their preferred dates, as more people would have the ability to reserve the rooms at the same time. The timeline and costs for registering for recreation services programs would also become more complicated, as residents would still have a priority registration and lower fees for activities offered at other city facilities, such as the swim center and golf course. It is respectfully recommended that the City Council review and consider the information provided in this report, open public comment, and select one of the following options. 2A, direct staff to continue the city's current reservation and class policies at Cerritos Park East and Liberty Park 2 that provide priority reservations and reduced class fees for Cerritos residents, resulting in the city being not in good standing for Measure A funding, or 2B, direct staff to prepare an agenda report for the City Council's consideration of changing the city's reservation and class policies at Cerritos Park East and Liberty Park 2 to comply with the Measure A agreement requirements. This concludes my report, and at this time, staff would be happy to answer any questions council may have. Thank you.
Thank you for the report, Annie. Do we have any questions from the council? Councilmember Say?
Well, from reading the staff report, it seems the Measure A allows everyone to use Cerritos public facilities, and without the distinction between the resident and non-residents. I am concerned about that. You know, it seems like we take a lot of privilege from our residents, and then we definitely hear a lot of complaint. You know, we have so much things changed recently, so my concern is all this will change the residents' privilege. And can staff also find somewhere to fund it for this Heritage Park? Would that be possible?
We are always on the lookout for potential revenue sources, including grant monies. If we do not have the opportunity to utilize Measure A funds for the Heritage Park project, we will continue to search for other potential funding sources. It would mean in the short term that the project would just have to be postponed. It would be an unfunded project.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilmember Hong?
Thank you, Mayor. Personally, I think as a Cerrito resident, I do believe we should have the privilege to have this kind of early reservation and with the provide the priority and the better discounted rate. It's just like when you join if you go to other cities, you know, I believe they probably have their policy like this. And so I personally think we should give the residents the privilege to do to still enjoy the priority for reservation and the special discount rate. Secondly, when so I am strongly agree with the proportion of 2A, but I only have one question. You say resulting in the city being not in good standing. I mean, this wording to me is a little bit ambiguous. Are we gonna not getting the fund, or we may be, or you know, can you be more specific about this, please, Annie?
Yes, thank you, Councilmember Hong, for the question. The county has made it clear that what that means is that we would not even be allowed to apply for Measure A grant funds. So we would not be able to even submit an application, and we would not receive any funding when we are not in good standing for any Measure A monies for any of our park improvements.
May I ask how much we have received for this funding?
Since 1995, the city has received a grand total of approximately $1.9 million over the years for various park improvements.
Thank you.
Councilmember Polito? Mayor Pro Tem Johnson? Thank you, Annie. So it says right here on page 2 of this agenda report that you put together, thank you, the consequence is that if we effective October 16, 2025, become not in good standing, we're going to lose access to the city's available funding of almost $1.9 million. So if we don't do this, we're giving up $1.9 million in Measure A funds, Measure A accumulated allocation, Measure A maintenance and servicing, Proposition A maintenance and servicing. And that's just the start, because we also will not be able to submit reimbursement claims. And then we also will have loss of access to potential funding opportunities. So the benefits to our residents are funds that we can spend on them at our parks, starting with $1.9 million that's already available, right?
Yes, currently what is available to the city to apply for grants would be nearly 1.5 million in accumulated allocation, and that would be what we would be applying for the Heritage Park project. And then there's another $355,448 in maintenance and servicing funds, which can be applied toward previous projects. And again, we'd be going through a grant process to request the funding. And then another $11,385 in Proposition A maintenance and servicing. And that goes back to the older projects that were funded initially through Proposition A.
So effective October 16, we're going to lose access to that $1.9 million.
That's correct.
If we are not in good standing, if we are, quote unquote, not in good standing. And then in addition to that $1.9 million, you listed out, like I said, we cannot submit reimbursement claims, and we're going to lose access to potential funding opportunities that you listed on page 2. So the question is, what is the value of these preferences, priorities that we're giving our residents versus a hard dollar amount starting at $1.9 million? And I believe that the way we could spend that $1.9 million matters to our residents. Any other questions from my colleagues? Well, let's see if we have public comment. So I will open it for public comment on this item. Sam Padachi. Okay. David Powman. Okay, is that okay with you, Joan? I called him, it's up to you. All right, Joan. You just put in Pileman. That's why I wasn't searching if it was just one Pileman. Okay.
Joan Pileman, resident of Cerritos for 50-odd years. I live on Squaw Valley Way. Thank you, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, council people. I got this letter and I read through it. I belong to 3 organizations within the community who uses the city facilities. We wrote a letter to Annie from one of my organizations a couple of months ago because we were having a really hard time getting our reservations in to use a Cerritos facility for our monthly meetings. We really didn't get any change in the reservation process. I have some questions. You kind of answered them, but I would like a little more specific. So the Measure A funding were used at Liberty Park 2 and CPE several years ago. And from my remembering, I think some of the money was used to replace the flooring in CPE. I don't know of any other improvements over there. I do know a little bit about the Liberty Park 2. It's not rented out. It's preschool. It's a tiny tot. It's not available to community organizations. So basically, this Measure A is applicable to those 2 facilities. Actually, just the one, because it's CPE. The other one is not available. Okay, so future projects that might be funded through Measure A and Prop A, would they need the same reservation policy revision? In the letter, it referred to, quote unquote, a variety of park improvement projects. And I took that to mean that those projects haven't been started yet or even been listed. So where else would these monies be used? So I guess over in Heritage, they're going to do something with the island over there. I don't know whether that project has been started or not, but the city, somewhere along the line, you refer to the $1.9 million. Supposedly, you've already gotten those monies, and they are supposed to have been used already. So I don't know, through the three organizations that I work through, I've never seen a fee schedule, but all those organizations have been an A group, and we get a facility once a month. Again, the new reservation policy used to be centralized at City Hall, so you could go to City Hall and get your reservations made right there for any of the parks. Now you have to go from park to park to park to get a date that is in agreement with your particular organization. And we've had a real hard time moving from park to park to park to get our membership to remember where and when and what time they're going to be meeting at. You do have a 12-month special event reservation, so you can reserve something 12 months out, but that's only one time a year. You have 6 months for the monthly meetings, but you're not sure exactly where you can go, what's available, because it's not centralized. I recommend to you as a City Council to vote on the 2A proposal, even though it means maybe the loss of funds. I think you should consider the citizens of this community. Do not lose your control over your facilities, and help the citizens out a little bit with the reservations of the city facilities so they can continue to pour their money into the community in various ways to nonprofits, et cetera, et cetera. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Joan Powellman. David Powellman.
I just had a quick question on what Joan talked about. Liberty Park 2, the tot lot, we would have to, isn't that registration like residents and then non-residents? So then that means it has to change their policy to open it to all residents then, right? Cerritos residents would not get priority?
Yes, currently the tot lots do allow non-residents to register. However, Cerritos residents receive first priority.
So it is affected then?
And the fee is also less costly for Cerritos residents.
Okay. And like she had mentioned, Group A's will also be affected by a change in policy as well.
Yes, they would no longer have the ability to reserve in advance, and we would have to look at any kind of consideration that they currently receive, which is free use of the facilities a certain amount per year.
And then, Mr. Mayor, if I can ask the city manager, can we work with Joan more on what she was talking about, the registration process, not being at City Hall, and it's all over? Yeah. I don't like that. Okay.
If I may, Mayor Pro Tem Johnson, if I can address Ms. Powellman's comments there. So the registration, or I guess the reservation process is decentralized. It's not primarily done at City Hall just because of the sheer number of volume that we have for reservations. So we technically only have 2 administrative assistants in recreation to process that many reservations for all the parks would be very cumbersome. So that's why we have it. Each group or resident whatever facility they want to use, they go to that park, and staff would be happy to help them. In addition to some of the questions she had about where you can reserve, how far in advance groups can reserve, we do have a pamphlet that we give to groups that outlines when you can reserve it, which parks are available, how far in advance you can reserve, and I'd be happy to provide that to her.
Thank you. But is there a way then, if you're going to Liberty Park, they can access what CPE facilities availability is, so that you don't have to go?
They are able to check that, yes.
So you can go to Liberty and make a reservation for CPE?
Well, they're able to check the availability, just so they don't waste a trip to go down there.
I see.
They will check as a courtesy to see if it's available, but all paperwork should be done at the park, whichever one that they prefer.
Okay. We'll try to figure it out. Thank you. Thanks, Joan, for your comments. We'll try to figure it out.
For the central reservations at City Hall for like 15 years.
Yeah.
And, you know, all we hear is we're short-staffed, we're short-staffed. Well, it doesn't fly all the time.
Samir, can you give a copy of the pamphlet to the council members as well? Okay, David Powman. Oh, you have anything else?
I was just going to say, thank you, Mr. Pilman, for waiting.
Oh, you're,
Okay.
you're welcome.
David
So
Powman.
this will be shorter than my earlier one. So again, for some of you know that we get along real well, but we do have different views. We're not like another couple that regularly used to speak all the time to the council where they were exactly on the same line. Generally, I believe that if someone offers you a gratuity, they're going to expect something back. So my attitude is, if you don't like the rules, refuse the gratuity. So isn't it timely that just yesterday in the news, there was intense discussion on whether UCLA should challenge the withdrawal of federal funds? Some have the attitude that negotiation is the best path, as if they challenge the edict from Washington, it's possible more stringent sanctions will be enforced. In my former world, this is what's going on now. The high school softball coaches don't like the rules for postseason, so they've chosen not to participate. So did we know the implications when we initially decided to share in Proposition A monies? Or is this another situation where the League of California Cities lobbyists didn't tell the whole story? And I think that's probably going to, if we dig down deep, that's what we're going to find. So kind of repeating some of the things that I've said earlier, on a more thorough look at this question, I find that most of the topics that come before the council and the school board are not isolated issues. They flow into many other aspects of our operations. The issue of the parent asking the council to assist in the building of a pool at Cerritos High School led into so many issues related to the city's recreation program using school district properties, the use of the CAL system, where the city limit was on the Cerritos College campus, who actually controls the land where the regional park and the city athletic center lie, as well as the monies actually used to build so many of the local assets, which Annie just talked about. So act tonight how you have to, with the timelines with which you are now faced. But I think you need to come back and look at the larger picture. As Annie has kind of alluded to, this will, in my opinion, affect the library, the senior center, all outdoor facilities, and eventually will affect participation in all recreation programs. And as Joan said, let's not forget how this might affect the participation of city residents and organizations making this city vibrant. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Powman. Are there any other speakers on this item? Seeing none, I will close the public comment period. Does the council have any additional questions or comments? Councilmember Say? Councilmember Hong? Councilmember Polito? Mayor Pro Tem Johnson?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just want to say that, you know, our parks and spaces are what makes Cerritos an ideal city for families to live and raise their children in. Cerritos residents have access to early registration and facility reservations because our parks and facilities are so popular and admired by so many communities in the region. Early registration is a privilege for our residents that they have come to enjoy and appreciate. So if we were to allow open registration to all, Cerritos residents would be competing with non-resident applicants. As it is now, the popularity of our programs and facilities already make it difficult for residents to make reservations. Therefore, I am not inclined to remove priority reservations for our residents and want to continue reduced class fees and current reservation policy to continue as it is. However, I'm aware of the great need to rehabilitate our parks and that funding would come by way of Measure A funds, but only if we were to modify our current reservation policy. So I'm not in favor of impacting our own Cerritos residents and want to be able to have them have the privilege to access our facilities and programming. But we do need to, as Annie said, seek revenue streams to improve and rehabilitate our parks. Sometimes grant funds are restricted, but one way to bring in millions of dollars, and I'll say it, is that, you could do a sales tax measure. The tax is paid by every consumer that shops and dine in Cerritos. It's not just paid by Cerritos residents. So it certainly is something to consider in the future if we want priority access for our residents, for programming and reservations, and to beautify our parks like Heritage Park. We've got to look at other revenue streams. Thank you.
Do we have a motion?
I do. I'd like to make a motion to approve 2A, direct staff to continue the city's current reservation and class policies at Cerritos Park East and Liberty Park 2 that provide priority reservations and reduced class fees for Cerritos residents, resulting in the city being not in good standing for Measure A funding.
Second.
The motion passes on a vote of 3-2.
City Manager, do we have any legislative items?
Not this evening, sir.
Does the City Manager have a report?
I do have one item to report on, Mayor, members of the City Council. As was noted at the last meeting, the city has scheduled a series of community open houses to provide information to residents related to proposed water and sewer rates that have been under discussion. We held 2 of those community open houses this past week on Friday and Saturday at the Cerritos Corporate Yard, and they were attended by members of the community. We have one more scheduled tomorrow morning at the Senior Center at 10 a.m., and we invite those who are interested to come and obtain information about our existing water system and what the city is currently reviewing in terms of potential changes to water rate and sewer rates. Again, the event will take place tomorrow at 10 a.m. at the Cerritos Senior Center.
That it?
Yes, that's it.
Next item is 11B. I'll start with Councilmember Say. You didn't turn on your microphone.
I'll pass. It's at 22:23. It was 10 o'clock, 10:30. I passed my report.
Councilmember Hong.
I just want to report I attended September 5th to 7th, the Contract Cities Association for Education Summit. It was a great turnout, and as we also have the LA County Supervisor Janice Hahn and also the LA Sheriff, County Sheriff Robert Luna was attending the meeting, so they give out a very good speech of what about the future and before the Olympic, what is going to be accomplished, and also subject about the safety, how we are going to improve it. So it's very, very good a summit for me as a first attendee. Thank you.
Councilmember Polito.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just have one brief thing to report. But before I do that, I just wanted to make mention that in tonight's presentation regarding California's 175th anniversary of statehood, it was mentioned that California is now the fourth largest economy in the world, and also you mentioned the leading producer of agriculture. So on that note, I wanted to say today is the 60th anniversary of the Great Delano Grape Strike. And this past Saturday, I was honored to represent our city. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, for having a proclamation prepared so that I could present that to the organizing committee that celebrated the 60th anniversary of the Great Delano Grape Strike. And for those who don't know what the Great Delano Grape Strike is about, 60 years ago, on September 8th, 1965, in the state of Delano, the Agricultural Workers Organizing Committee, AFL-CIO, struck the grape vineyards of Delano in defiance of the treatment and the poor pay and poor working conditions of the agricultural workers. So that was on September 8th. 8 days later, the National Farm Workers Association voted to join that strike. Let me back up. The Agricultural Workers Organizing Committee was led by the Filipino agricultural workers, led by Larry Itliong, Philip Vera Cruz, and Pete Velasco. The National Farm Workers Association was led by Cesar Chavez and Dolores Huerta. In that Great Delano Grape Strike, that ended up leading to the merger of the two organizations and the creation of what we now know as the United Farm Workers of America. And that was one of the longest strikes and boycotts in American history that culminated in the signing of contracts for the and the recognition of the United Farm Workers of America in 1970. I mention all of this is because what gets often lost in the celebration of how great our state is the actual people who make it great. And so I was honored to be invited to serve on a panel alongside our Attorney General Rob Bonta and the great Dolores Huerta at Robert F. Kennedy High School in Delano. And again, had the honor, the humble honor to present in recognition of the 60th anniversary of the Great Delano Grape Strike on behalf of our great city, the city of Cerritos. And I was very proud that we stood there in recognition of that great history that really helped build the labor movement for at least the Western United States, if not the entire United States. Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. On September 5 and September 6, I attended both sessions of the Community Open House on water and sewer rates. And like the city manager said, we have one more session that will be held tomorrow at 10 a.m. at the Cerritos Senior Center. If you've not attended, I would highly recommend that you go. Or if you're not able to go, at least contact staff, contact one of us, and we'll make sure that you get the information that you need. Wanted to bring up something on consensus. The Cerritos Planning Commission is the most important commission of all our advisory groups. It is the only commission that is mandated through our city charter, city ordinance, and state law. The current makeup of our Planning Commission is unique this year because there are 4 new members that were appointed just a few months ago. This is a commission where they need to hit the ground running. As a council, we need to give them the tools and resources to help them become successful as a planning commissioner. Therefore, I'd like to direct the city manager, to direct staff, to identify a few conferences that would be of help to our planning commissioners. As council members, we attend many conferences to learn how to be policymakers. Planning Commission has a budget for travel. This budget is intended for them to attend conferences, and it would be in the city's best interest for the new commissioners to at least attend one conference within, I don't know, the next 6 months, or at least within a reasonable time period. A few conferences that come to my mind are the California County Planning Commissioners Association Annual Conference on October 24 and 25 of this year. I know that is just around the corner, but it looks like they're still accepting applications for registration. Or perhaps the League of California Cities Planning Commissioners Academy on March 11 through 13, 2026, or whatever other conferences that staff deems is appropriate for our commission. I watched the last 2 Planning Commission meetings, and it would be advisable for them to attend some type of foundational training. I think my colleagues would agree that we all want our appointees to be successful in the positions that they hold, and so that they can learn the fundamentals and to learn best practices. So therefore, my request for consensus is then to direct the city manager to identify conferences for planning commissioners to attend and to provide that information to the planning commission with the recommendation that they attend a conference within the first year of their term.
I concur.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, and one more consensus request is basically the same thing. We have our first Economic Development Commission starting tomorrow. This is a new group of folks. I don't think any of them have been commissioners before. And second to the Planning Commission, this is going to be our second, next to the Planning Commission, this is going to be our most important commission. We're going to be tasked with bringing in revenues for the city. So I'd like to also ask for consensus to direct the city manager, to direct staff, to identify conferences for economic development commissioners to attend, and to provide that information to the Economic Development Commission with the recommendation that they attend a conference within the first year of their term.
I concur, but I only have one question. Do we have budget for that, or is that already in the budget? Hopefully.
Yes, as was noted, there is a budget for travel for the Planning Commission, and when the City Council adopted the ordinance to establish the Economic Development Commission, there was a budget attached to that as well.
Thank you, Robert.
Do I have consensus?
Yes.
Thank you.
So same thing for Economic Development Commission.
Thank you, thank you. And one last thing, the City of Cerritos is holding a paper shredding and compost event Saturday, September the 27th. This event will be held from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. at the Cerritos Senior Center at Pat Nixon Park. Cerritos residents may bring up to 2 banker-sized boxes of paper documents to be shredded at no charge. Cerritos residents may also receive free compost by bringing no more than 2 rigid 35-gallon containers. The containers will be filled on-site by Athens Services. For more information about the event, it is posted on the city's website, and here is also a flyer. So thank you. That's it.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Johnson, for letting our residents know about the paper shredding and compost event. And also letting them know about the community meeting regarding the water
and
sewage rates, because these events are open to all Cerritos residents, all the public, correct?
Yes, that's
City
correct.
Manager?
Yes.
These community events regarding the sewer and water rates, they're open to everybody, right?
Yes.
And the paper shredding and the compost is open to all Cerritos residents, right?
That's correct.
Yeah. Yeah, because I just wanted to make sure everybody knows that, because, one of the speakers at public comment tried to once again provide misinformation that only certain people get to come to these events. Only certain people get to come. And He is once again wrong, once again providing misinformation, once again instigating. The answer is, the truth is, all residents are invited to be informed residents, come to city council meetings, watch city council meetings live or recorded, come to our community meetings about water rates, sewer rates, come to our State of the City, which was free for the first time ever this past June, free to all residents. Come to our paper shredding and compost events. For example, Mayor Pro Tem just announced it. Thank you for doing that. So just wanted to make sure, I wanted to correct the misinformation that all residents are not able to come to these events. That is completely wrong. All residents can come to city events. So, next on the agenda is item 12, City Attorney. Will you please announce the closed session item?
Yes, thank you, Mayor, members of the City Council. We will now recess into closed session to discuss item 12A, conference with legal counsel on existing litigation in the matter of Castro versus the City of Cerritos.
We will now adjourn the special meeting and the council will recess to closed session.